Welcome to the first episode of Nightmind Open Office. It's more Nightmind, it just happens to be live. Yeah, seriously, it's live project investigations. It's as much Nightmind as I can give you in a live fashion, even edited down after the fact to keep things flowing. And of course, I'm doing this all the time over on Twitch, as well as with the Nightmind Index. So sometimes we go into the index, we find a project, we vote on that project actually, and then we dive in. Our premiere coverage is the project Hiding in My Home, and I did it on my debut night. It's a completed project. We went through the entirety that night, and it is a journey. None of us really ended up in the path that we thought we would when it came to how things started. It's up, it's down, it's all around. It's gonna leave an impact on you. Certainly left an impact on us. In fact, it left such an impact on me that in the editing of this VOD, I realized exactly what my process is going to be from now on with VODs by majority. I could not help myself. There are going to be portions which feel a lot like Nightmind's videos, in which I summarize things, move them forward, provide additional explanation, tie things back. I can't help myself. I've got to, especially with an experience like this. So at certain points, it might feel familiar. A little bit different, but familiar. And I want it to feel that way. I really do. For everybody who came out to the debut, thank you. And if you'll excuse me just a moment. If you're over here right now from Nightmind, just giving this a chance at all, thank you. It means the world to me. I know this is not the norm. It will never be the norm. I will always be doing scripted Nightmind. You know, exactly like this, minus the other items that are in the office here related to streaming. But it's become increasingly clear I can't just dedicate all of my time to scripted videos if I want to get to more work and showcase more creators and projects. Plus, one of the big benefits of doing things this way is that creators get to watch as we watch. They don't just get my feedback live, they get the audiences. They get to be part of their work being experienced in the moment by hundreds of people. And that can be extremely thrilling and extremely informative. But honestly, just thank you. I appreciate you giving this a chance. And if you like it, I would love to see you one of these nights over on Twitch. So, without further ado, the complete coverage of Hiding in My Home. So, right off the bat, we have to ask ourselves, what is the exact nature of the simulation here? Is it really just them at a computer trying to produce an idea of what they experienced? Or are we about to experience a project in which this is kind of dream capture technology? Because it could very easily be that. We've definitely experienced projects where that's kind of the world that they're living in terms of the technological development. As for this, seems like a basement or an attic, a section that's covered up. So we have a hard turn into the cloud, or being sucked into the cloud, into this segment here. So let's see where this leads. It just feels good to see live action footage again. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's a face. There we are. Some kind of face. So we've got somebody outside just enjoying recording their environment. It's called Blue Barrel, and we do see the Blue Barrel eventually. We see the top of it here. And we do have the face at the end through a bunch of lights. So a lot of pieces are being laid down here for us to kind of put together later. That's no normal face either. It looks kind of all squished and rearranged. Or almost like taped up, like tightly wound, you might say. So this is a cool shot. I like the composition here. I feel like this is gonna be the kind of project where I enjoy a lot of the decisions made in terms of visuals. Looks like a mask. HH iced. Yeah, it did kind of look like a mask, and welcome on in. Oh. Someone in the window now. The video I filmed in the afternoon. Through the door it looked nice. It always does, but this time especially, so I thought it deserved its own video. It's hard sometimes. I get blue, then I get red. I tried to communicate that feeling in one video and some other things. I know nobody is watching. It makes me sad sometimes. It would be better if someone did. Then I would know what's happening and I could try to help. I don't want anyone to talk to me. It's more about how they talk to each other and what they talk about. It's really beautiful out there. Why can't I just go out there? Well, I did yesterday. Something I've been trying to figure out for a long time now is why that's there. But it's not empty, and if it is, supposedly that is not good. Lucky it's close so I can go visit it every so often. I just need to make sure I don't get strange looks from people nearby. Sometimes I feel like the Blue Barrel is the only thing keeping me going. It's just hard not going anywhere, you know? Simulation of my nightmare. Please don't ask me for context surrounding the dream, as it makes dreams more likely to be recurring if I talk about them awake. Yeah, the door does seem uncanny. Does the CC have anything? Nope, there's no captions. Not for any of the first three. It's hard sometimes. I get blue, then I get red. I tried to communicate that feeling in one video and some other things. The logo at the bottom right's the same thing that popped up in the window. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Then we have a shadow shape. Okay, this video, don't talk too loudly. I can't talk too loudly. Nobody else is around, of course, but someone might come if I'm too loud. They'll come from far away to get to me. Now this next part is a secret. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm not actually sure if they really are people. Maybe I should just use text like in the first video. Feels like I'm not really talking to you if I do that, though. Let's hear that again. I can turn it up a bit. Let's really try to tune in here.
When is how much longer? Usually it's when the sun's going down.
Usually it's when the sun is going down.
Okay, I make these videos and
I make these videos and
well, when I started making them, people.
When I started making them, people. ...
They don't.
Explanation removed.
They want to chase me. They want to follow me.
They want to chase me. They want to follow me.
So it's different kinds of people.
Different kinds of people. and then we lose everything else to the static. So things happen at night, and since the beginning of making the videos, this person has started to be chased by people. What the hell is this next video? If they wanted that to be unpleasant, it absolutely is. Oh man. Ah. Edit. POV, you have high ping. Oh man, it's like somebody's rolling around marbles in a mug. Right. Okay. We're gonna turn the audio off for that one. Some things I can only film at night, but that's okay. My sleeping allows for it. It's hard to play every character. I have to be happy, and I have to be sad, and I have to switch between the two often. But the editing is fun. It's my favorite part. I'll spend hours on it. That helps me escape from real problems. They're still after me. I won't let them find me if I can help it. I'm good at making myself scarce. I always have been. That gives us a little bit more of an idea of what's happening here. The video creation is artistic by nature, pointedly creative by the uploader. The problem now is that in making the videos, they find themselves being followed. Yeah, note he is wearing red. Sometimes I'm red and then I'm blue. And sometimes it's red with a touch of yellow at the top. It is very pointedly red. It's a very solid red. That does seem very much on point for what we've been given so far as puzzle pieces. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad. Sometimes I'm red, sometimes I'm blue. Did the glasses just fall, or are they completely gone after the person appears on the couch? Eyes on the glasses. Gone. Which may or may not be important. Sometimes it's an accident. Sometimes it's not. And then another red enters. And of course the long trailing shot of a spider web. Which is aesthetic in itself, but here, obviously meaningful. The idea of straying or being caught in a web. So now we're away from the marbles, and there will be text on the screen. Cool. This is something I filmed last night, hence the title. You see, I've been going on a while. You see, I've been going on walks for a while. I thought that wouldn't be a very good idea, for reasons I explain in the video the best I can. But you have no idea how isolating it's been. Being in my position takes its toll on me. It does. I had to get out. I had to get out. Honestly, it's been making me think of how I used to be able to live so far today. And it's made me sad, even though it made me feel liberated yesterday. I may not do it again until I can handle the psychological fallout. Walking around, wondering if I might meet someone or something, it was a rush, even just the once. I'm safe though, and that's what matters. Thanks for the modest Twitter following, that's made me happy. It's kind of surreal too. Ah, so we have a Twitter account too. There's that symbol. And then a blue barrel. And then something else. Looks like a bee. Okay, so this is a Marble Hornet style stuff here. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, this is gonna be some Marble Hornet style stuff, in which you have the videos and then you have some stuff happening on Twitter in between. I'm hoping that what happened. Oh my god, there's a lot here. There's a lot here when it comes to the Twitter. Oh, yeah, I'm hoping it's not required reading either. I don't believe so. I believe this is supplemental material. That's what I'm thinking right now, is that it's got to be, if you care for it, to give you more context or to keep you active between uploads, which would be right out of the Marble Hornets playbook. Wait. You heard it right. Yeah, there's a second set of footsteps. You can hear it right around that point when he starts to turn around. There's something, and if you're wearing headphones, you hear it very specifically because it's coming from your left ear. It's from the left side and back, and that's how you know, which is freaky on its own. That's some good audio work there in post to try and kind of get that information over. There it was again. Did you hear it? There it was. Yes, that's exactly what it's like. It's like they're walking alongside him, but he can't see them. It's so close that you can hear it. It's like the crunch of the grass. It's not even on the sidewalk. It seems to be on the grass, but he turns around, he can't see them. And it keeps on coming back. That's creepy. This is a good video. They've all been good. It's just that when a project starts out as very art house, you can kind of lose people. Because not a lot of people have patience for that, and not a lot of them are, like you and I, and some others where it's very, this is highly visually stimulating, and I love the choice of colors and images here. It's just, there's something about this that I like the taste of this, even if I don't understand where it's at yet. A lot of people don't care for that. They don't really have the patience. Getting through that to this point, where you understand somebody's taking you could slice this out. You could take a pair of scissors, slice this out of the main thing, put it on its own, and it's still effective. It still gets an idea across. If somebody's taking a walk at night, they are being followed. You can't see them, but it keeps coming back. And that's very good for us. That's bringing the horror into the situation. That's giving us more of an idea of what's occurring here and how the story is developing, especially because we do have evidence beforehand of the character talking about how they are being followed. I wanted to hear footsteps so bad as soon as he opened the door. Could you imagine it though? Could you imagine it? He opens the door, and then all of a sudden you hear right up behind him. He just rushes inside, slams the door shut. Oh, that would have been fun. Oh, my mind. Yeah, this is unnerving, but how can I make it worse? Contemplating sadness, terror, and ostracization. 3 years ago. I feel like this video title was before its time. Anybody else getting that vibe? Like, if somebody uploaded this today with the right thumbnail, and it were 20 minutes, it would have ripped 100,000 views within a month. God, YouTube has changed so much. Really, it's a whole different era than it used to be. During the times recently when I was taking walks and getting out of my house on occasion, fully capitalized my house, interesting. I felt great liberation, but it was fleeting. Look at the birds. They can move anywhere they want to, whenever they want to. I can't. That reality has been weighing on me. I was followed the last time I walked, and it's a mystery to me whether or not I might have been attacked if I made a false step. Horror that will become terror in time. How is one to conduct himself when he has a responsibility whose fulfillment might lead to nothing good? A chance, a hope, that's all my life is built atop. The barrel, the barrel, the barrel, the barrel, the barrel, it's consuming me. How is one to conduct himself when he has a responsibility whose fulfillment might lead to nothing good? So now we have interest in what that actually is. This is a teaching point. When you get into a project where you're doing weird shit, right off the bat, you're being artsy, you're being kind of strange. The hard part about that is where you manage to find the human foothold, right? The element that we can relate to, the piece that says, I care. This is a human being, this is a character I can follow. I care about this story. I feel this story. However weird you start, you gotta try and have that somewhere along the line. Otherwise you lose us entirely. The creator walked the knife's edge. We do care, but things have been so strange, we almost didn't catch that. That there's almost like, man, if you did not sell the idea that you are a dude living alone in your neighborhood, a neighborhood we can see and believe in, dealing with strange stalking issues, then we already would have been lost on this and not kept pace. But now we do. Now we care, especially after that last video. We're not just watching strange art house stuff, you know? We understand that we are watching strange art house stuff, but it is a human being and they're having a human problem, and we are kind of interested in what that's about. Keeping this locked very specifically to the average American neighborhood, just showing that kind of environment is really working in its favor. And now, because that is working, because we have that human foothold, we do care to read the description. We do care to get a bit more information. And when we hear about a responsibility that this person needs to uphold, we are interested. There is a curiosity there. Granted, we haven't had more time with the character to really get to know them, but from a sense of the human foothold, it has been established, but it could have been lost in the mix. If they had gone any weirder than they did, it might not have been set up. It's impressive. Secret Star says, this is such great nostalgia. If anyone else who was in the Hiding in My Home Discord server when the series was active is also here, shout out to y'all. So let's contemplate sadness, terror, and ostracization. I know that's kind of an everyday affair, but let's get more of it. Why not? You know, the fun of it is I recognize this creator too. They're a video editing geek, and I know it because I'm the same way. When I get to just do some cool things and enjoy playing around with the tool and seeing what it does and seeing what I can put together, I have so much fun with that, and I see that reflected in them. And it's really shaping up more now that this is somebody who's dealing with a situation while also still trying to just do their own kind of artistic projects. Alright, so we have the blue barrel that needs opening. We have whatever the shape is that needs closing. And they want help. This documents the events of last night, and what I came to discover upon inspection this morning. The apparitions around me of late. It disturbs me pretty thoroughly. As you can imagine, I'm not feeling good about this. I didn't want to have to retreat, but it looks like it would be best for me to spend more time at the house. It's for my own safety. As unsettled as I am, I'm going to continue uploading. In fact, I've been recording more over the last few days, since I've started to feel the danger more acutely. Most of the footage is boring, of course, but I'm sure I'll continue to capture some things that are of note, and I'm going to keep making these videos regardless. It's cathartic to me. Therapeutic. I need that at the moment. As for the end of this video, some people have contacted me over my Twitter account and told me they don't believe I'm really in any danger. They think I'm fabricating this, which could not be further from the truth. Oh man, the homebrew film geek in me absolutely loved that. Let's just watch that again, guys. Come on. Yeah. You know, come on. Who else out there has that? Where they see a good shot and they're just like, yeah, that was nice. I like that. It's like a potato chip for your brain. And another one. Oh my god, again. We are just eating it up with this video entry. Meow Moonified says, I'm not much of a camera person, but it is cool hearing the perspective of people who are. Thank you. And hey, welcome on in. Good to see you. The door is red. Yes, the door is red. It's a very prominent red door. Just that door shot. That is so strong. I mean, and look at the... Like, these are legitimate film can lights. These are not like soft boxes either, you know? This is heavy, dude. This is some real stuff. This guy's serious. Ezra, thank you. He says in the house, have we actually seen anything besides the garage? No, not really. Not in actual lighting, anyway. Which is interesting, that we're not beyond the garage. Okay. So we do have footage. Yep. Somebody raised a good point. Captain Bunnicula did. What if it's not even his house? And that's why we never see inside. Now that would be interesting. If this is actually not even his place, then we really have to wonder what the hell is going on with him. As mentioned in the last video, my plan was to stay in my house as much as possible from that point forward. This video sees that plan put into action, I suppose. Alright, typo there. I know that I'm unsure of the exact nature of those things / people watching me, but I'm not ready to confront them. Honestly, a confrontation is probably inevitable. It's hard to face that fact, though. Don't you understand that? I know you're curious. At some level, I am too. But this is my safety we're talking about. It's hard to just willingly put myself in danger. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, I address the people who are skeptical of me. I'm not doing this to give you all the answers you want. If you get them, you get them. It's up to chance. I'm in very real, palpable danger. I have no idea of explaining things in as much detail as possible is hazardous. I don't want to find out. To those who are sticking with me, I thank you wholeheartedly. We have house footage! And a cat. I mean, I'm excited about... I mean, you've already had a cat. You've had a cat since the beginning. There's a little bat in me now, too, but I mean, I've been here. I'm excited because we actually have house footage now. You guys are like, cat! This is cat part 2. Yeah. Why are you buff? Why not? Now let's see where this goes.
Unheard message.
I think now we're getting somewhere. Okay. It seems he got upset enough about not being believed to just show us something a little bit crazy. And again, there's some delicious shots in here. What if this is all in his head and his mania is bringing them out into the real world? That would be an interesting possibility. Yeah, opens this door, and beyond it is something staring back. We're really playing with a sense of unreality here. Does anybody else see the body? I can't. Not from this view. Let's keep going on. I'm continuing to stay inside. I haven't even gone outside in, I think, 5 days. I still feel them approaching. I don't know. I can't know. I worry what will happen, but I won't submit to them if that's what they want. I'll suffer more if necessary. I don't know what I did to deserve all this. I'm making this video to tell you that these things, this situation, I didn't cause it. And now I have to miss get-togethers, appointments, things I would have otherwise enjoyed and found helpful. Do I deserve this? Again, this is one of those long shot things where, for anybody else attempting this, it might have been too vague for people to really lean in and care. But there's so many aspects of this that are keeping us on the line, and the touch of a human foothold for the curiosity to really work with that we're staying on board. Maybe they do deserve this, we don't know anything about them. Yeah, that's it too, is at this point we're kind of just, there's a part of it where we're watching to understand who it is we're dealing with, and why they're dealing with this, and what their responsibility is. It's not so obscure that we don't care. We haven't been knocked off of that yet.
Unheard message.
Hi there, it's Dr. I'm just checking in since you didn't come in for your appointment today. I know a few weeks ago you had to take Sherman to the vet, so if it's a related reason this time, I hope everything's okay. If you'd like to reschedule, I could have you on Thursday at 3:30 as I have had a cancellation. Let me know if that works for you. If you can't make it, then I expect I'll see you back next week at the regular time. Again, hope all is good. Bye now.
Saved.
Hello, it's Dr. I'm trying you again. I want to make sure you're doing all right. I know our relationship is professional, but when a patient misses 2 appointments in a row and doesn't contact me at all, it does weigh on me a bit. Listen, I don't know if you're thinking of not coming in at all anymore, but if so, that's really something we ought to discuss first. You know this, but I've been genuinely happy with you the last couple of months, and I think you've greatly improved your own outlook. Becoming as adept as you have at recognizing troubling thought patterns is no small feat. It's not worth it to risk backsliding, so please, give me a call back when you can. Hope to hear from you.
End.
Wow, okay, that's a lot there. Also pretty humanizing. That very much helps the case for keeping us on the line and getting us deeper into the story. Yeah, now we really wonder what the hell is going on with this guy. Is it a metaphor? Probably. Something's Tyler Durdening around the room. I love that. So he's got a doctor he's not seeing, that he should be seeing. He's been seeing him for months, but now all of a sudden he's caught in this place where he feels he cannot leave his home. And as for being followed, it does appear that he is being followed, but there is something to be aware of here. This is a video editor. A good video editor. So with a video editor at the helm here, can we really trust some of the things that we're seeing? We need to really walk with this sense of, well, a bit of doubt. Walk with a grain of salt on this one. Because it is somebody who is very good at video editing. If they wanted us to get an impression that they're dealing with something, they very well could do that. It could be an unreliable narrator. What if the blue barrel is medication? Maybe. They do want the blue barrel, though, you know. They want it open, they want something else closed, which is that teardrop shape.
I'm genuinely happy with you the last couple of months, and I think you've greatly improved your own outlook. Becoming as adept as you have at recognizing troubling thought patterns is no small feat. It's not worth it to risk backsliding, so please, give me a call back when you can. Hope to hear from you.
Okay. As far as codes go, that's pretty inventive. I dig it. He looms under the foundation. Invisible, detectable. As for death, I find it a more remote danger. Morse code, most likely. I don't know. This is a really cool use of presenting a code, though. I really enjoy this. They're not a projection, they're there. Their exact nature could be altered by my mind. I wish I knew. It troubles me at all times, tortures me, as much as they themselves might if they get a hold of me. It's not connected to the Twitter, I don't think. Okay, Secret Stars has the hookup. Thank you, Secret Stars. Here's what I found on the server about episode 10 code. With this cipher, you work from the outside in. 0 is white lights, 1 is red lights, 2 is blue lights. The second hashtag, or hash, second number is the amount of blinks. This solved to you forgot to delete. Shortly after solving this video, 23 was released. You forgot to delete. Okay. Thank you for that, Secret Stars. Okay, that's the lights. That's the camera, probably. Not sure about that. Marker. That was cool. That was cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. I'm not sure if we just went from night to day or if it's just a dark corner. Lay me down to sleep. I've locked everything. I don't know where they are. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they want. They're so close. Last week I was bolstered, confident to face them. Now that the prospect looms, I'm scared. I'm a coward. I don't know what to do. I either have to run away or combat them. They're powerful. They're going to get in. It's inevitable. There's nothing to do for it, so why worry? Isn't that how I should think? I have nothing to do but pace around, looking out windows, checking logs. What if I see one right outside the window in the middle of the night? My only hope is that if they hurt me, I can upload one last video with evidence of them doing it. I need closure. So the character's getting gutsy now, in the hopes of catching evidence, as well as feeling like they're just facing the inevitable. Unsimulated nightmare comes next. I'm not trying to parse all that right now. That's kind of a lot. I don't know exactly where to begin. There's a feeling that it has to do with the capitalized words in here. In which case we have ITS. Oh, and there's no can do. It's happened and there's nothing you can do. Yeah, alright, simple capitalization code. Oh, okay. Thank you, Bangarang Beast. So the code from earlier, the flashing lights, came out to, if necessary, I will defend myself the force. Alright. Before going on with this, there is a lovely juxtaposition happening here in the footage, because you have to ask yourself sometimes, what is the purpose of all of this footage that we're seeing? And the only thing that I can think of, beyond him checking to see if anything is coming back, is the juxtaposition of, you have this very pretty, like midsummer, lush neighborhood. The birds, the sun, the green leafy trees, the bright grass, while he is just bloodied and feeling hunted. Now there's something so horrible happening exactly where he is in this kind of setting. It's striking. it's tough to figure out what the angle is here with this barrel. Like, now you can open the blue barrel, and you really need to get inside the blue barrel. For what purpose? Like, we're really not getting a lot of information so far on this to understand. I imagine that relates to what's on Twitter, right? Okay, so it's all of this that we were looking at earlier. The shirt color changed from blue with blood and gray with the barrel. And we can see what happened here a little bit clearer now. So that's kind of a gray-blue. The door just opens. And that distortion is the thing. That is the creature. The sound is on, by the way. There's just nothing happening sound-wise right now. Don't know why this one is silent. No, that was curious. That fast, bunny tail? Damn. That's some insane speed. Okay. Oh, yeah? Alright, it's about to get interesting. Okay, and that last video was just 13. So now, and we saw that description there. Here we go. Something new, something interesting.
If you've been following this channel for the past 2 months, I urge you to watch this. It is important that you know exactly what you've been watching in that time. The truth about the videos many of you have been enjoying. My name is Anthony, and I will relay this information in the way that I experienced it myself. On September 6, 2020, my 7-year-old brother, Jordan, disappeared. He had gone to play outside, just in our backyard, and he never came back in. That afternoon, our parents and I searched for him out there and couldn't find him. After half an hour of searching, we called the police. They helped us search our property even more thoroughly, and then the whole neighborhood. It's been almost 2 weeks, and the police haven't been able to find Jordan. But what they did find was in the shed attached to our small standalone garage. It was film equipment. Not much, no actual camera, but a tripod and 2 small but professional cinema lights. There were no fingerprints on them. I had a suspicion. It was unlikely, but I had to see. Just in case, I scoured the internet. There probably wasn't anything to find, and even if there was, I didn't really know what I was looking for anyway. But when I finally stumbled across it, it was so obvious that it didn't even matter. This little YouTube channel has documented someone staying on mine and my family's property for 2 months, undetected, and eventually murdering my 7-year-old brother and fleeing the police. This is the street I live on. That's my house on the right. This is the larger of our 2 garages. This is the rain barrel that stood behind our garages for as long as I can remember. This is the man inside our basement, our living room, and my parents' bedroom. And after what he did to my brother, here he is fleeing as the police arrive that night. Look closely at the lights. He slipped right by them, just as they got to my house. It seems like he tried very, very hard to make you think that this was his house, but it wasn't. He was trespassing the entire time. Notice that he typically showed himself inside the garage or the basement, where we go relatively infrequently. He could slip inside there, unheard. If he was ever anywhere else, it was clearly late at night when we were all sleeping. The one time he entered the house during the day, it was a huge windstorm. I remember this. It was just a month ago, and we all took a trip to Lowe's to buy a generator. His power had gone out. He had the house to himself, except for our cat. I don't think he could have possibly spent all this time on our property. It's not like we never went into the garage or basement, but he was clearly there often. And we never, ever saw him. No one. Except Jordan. At the end, of course. But, why? What was this for? Judging by that 10th video he posted, he was not mentally sound. He had a doctor or psychiatrist or something, but that wasn't good enough for me. And it's not good enough for me. Why did the motherfucker do this, specifically? That's why I'm here now. I want to find out. And you're all going to find out too. I guess I should mention now, if you're wondering how I'm uploading a video from this channel, I won't go into much detail, but it is not difficult to gain access to a YouTube channel if you have enough patience. And honestly, given the circumstances, I feel that I am completely at liberty to use this account as my own. The videos were filmed on my property, after all. Well, I knew what I had to do, right away. In the videos, he was sloppy. He covered his face, but he didn't mask the rest of his head. That was enough to go on, to make an educated guess. I looked through the online records of people at large or missing in my home state. That is Hollis Coogan, a 23-year-old citizen of a town about 20 minutes away from mine. Just look at him. It's the same person, no doubt. No doubt in my mind at all. His parents filed a missing persons report for him a little over 2 months ago. There's very little verifiable information about him online. I saw the name Hollis Coogan on an old high school tennis roster from his town of residence, and it's a pretty uncommon name, so I assume it's him. But otherwise, no information and no online presence. No Facebook, nothing. Aside from this YouTube channel and its corresponding Twitter account, of course. Now, the videos comprehensively tell some kind of story about how Hollis Coogan was being watched and followed by something. People, supernatural entities, I don't know. I live in a superlatively quiet neighborhood. There are no people nor any entities living around here who would be looking for a 23-year-old kid or want any harm to befall him. I think Hollis Coogan knew he was going to do something bad, or maybe he had already done something bad and wanted to drum up a little sympathy for himself as long as he could. It's the kind of thing a sick person would do. On the Twitter account, he went on record saying that these videos were not meant to convey a coherent message to the audience, after all. Instead, they were for his own catharsis. That is where my theory stands now. But I need to know more. There's more to find out, and looking at the old videos will be a start. Obviously, there's some cryptography to be done. That blue rain barrel that's been behind my garages for as long as I can remember, that thing seemed to intrigue Hollis for some damn reason. Enough that he represented it with a shitty little symbol sometimes. And that doesn't seem to be the only thing. But that's where I'm going to start. I don't know if this needs to be said, but my parents do not know about this. Nobody does. Except me. I'm not gonna... My parents are still holding out hope that Jordan will be found. That he'll come back to them. They are not going to know what happened until I have the person responsible at my mercy. Then I'll go to the police. Then I'll tell. I hope you all didn't get too attached to him. Or if you did, don't mind having me now. And helping me make sure that he does not walk free for very long.
Holy shit. Outstanding. What a run-up. Oh my god. This art field fucks so much. Wow. Wow. What a run-up. That was... that is amazing. What a killer setup that was and reveal. He was also wearing a blue shirt. He was. Dude. That was phenomenal. Like, you all felt it. I saw it. I felt it too. What brilliant planning and execution that was. They really did lay everything out there with all the pieces that were needed for this video. And I love the perspective shift. I love the planning. I love the execution. I love the scenario that we're in now. I love all the extra information that has come from this new character, Anthony, in his tenacity for getting more information. You can tell he is convinced that Coogan did something to his brother. You guys are thinking that he's in the barrel, which would be really messed up. Wow. What a stellar reveal that one was. Very effective. That really lands. Bro, that was so good. That was so good. Honestly, it really was though. You were here for the live journey as we got to experience it, and if you've been watching the reactions from the chat, you saw it quite clearly. That upload hit was a knockout. Think about everything that's come beforehand to make this happen and the quality that went into it. A surreal suburban neighborhood story shot from the perspective of a man haunted by specters coming increasingly close. Additional mystery involving a large blue barrel and a doctor calling about missed appointments. All presented with delightful shots, color, and editing that appeal to senses of style and media literacy puzzle solving. There was even a bit of more hands-on puzzle solving in the form of the lights between the window blinds. Often, this sort of art house interpretive video approach can result in failure to engage us at a level of human empathy and intrigue sufficient enough to get on board and keep watching. But that didn't happen here. We were engaged, we were enjoying ourselves, and the story pacing and beats were not dragging. Build-up was good, timely delivery of action that moved the story forward and rewarded our investment was good. And after a quick succession of climactic events, we were granted a reveal that not only explained things and stunned us, but cranked up the mystery and doubled our intrigue, setting up a new protagonist and antagonist for a manhunt with real emotional stakes. Bravo! Absolutely bravo! Episode 14 of Hiding in My Home and all its build-up bring lessons for creators to learn from. Now, this is the point at which editing Nick is going to come in a lot more often, because this is the point at which the project changes drastically. You're going to understand why very soon. We officially have a to the arc situation. We are not in a position to put those pieces together of the photo that is being shown here, although that is clearly what this is meant for us to do. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have some back and forth to the arc J kind of stuff here going on. Not so sure how that works unless they're both using the same password now. You would have thought that Coogan, or whoever this is, would have immediately changed the password, or Anthony would have changed the password. Everyone is against you. Hiding in My Home Discord, hiding in my home Twitter. Are you sure about that, Coogan? Are you sure?
Well, I don't think I need to tell you this, but that last video, yeah, wasn't me. I don't know how Hallis got access to this channel again. I guess I should have expected him to try to get back in. But he didn't try to change the password on me or anything. Meaning, he doesn't care if I keep posting videos. But, you see, I don't care either. I know what he did. And that may as well have been a confession. He didn't feign ignorance. just mocked me. So, if he wants to leave me anything that will give me clues to his intent or his whereabouts, that's fine with me. So go ahead, Hollis. Mock me. I guess you don't care if I get something out of your little codes and symbols, but I care. I want to know how you think. You give me anything, I'm treating it like a clue. Of all the little breadcrumbs this fucker's left, there are two that really aren't very subtle. Two symbols have appeared repeatedly in these videos. One of them very clearly signifies, of all things, the rain barrel that's been sitting behind my garages for the last 25 years. Hollis often showed it and explicitly spoke about it too.
Of course, I have to open the barrel. That's but no one you have any idea.
He said he needed to open it. Of course, though, he was never very clear about why he wanted to. I'm very curious as to what could be inside. To my memory, this barrel hasn't been opened in my lifetime. My family, we've kind of just let it sit there. No reason to do anything else with it. And no reason to think it could possibly hold anything of importance.
Hey, Squeak Drake, thank you. Welcome on in.
But it's the most obvious lead I can find in these videos. So I'm gonna open it. Who knows? Maybe the fucker knew something I didn't. Maybe there's a good reason he wanted to get inside that thing, and why he couldn't just open it, you know? I mean, it probably wouldn't have been that hard to just open it at some point.
If his brother is in the barrel, and he is the one to find it like this, that will be the most fucked up thing. What if there's a corpse in there but not the brothers? That would be another twist.
Given he was around it for 2 months. I think technically I should use some kind of drum wrench to do this, but the plugs are so old, they're practically dissolving. So I'm just going to try using screwdrivers to pry them open. In case there's something toxic inside, I only want to unscrew the plugs. I think I can feel it. There. Oh, there's a nail in this one. Fucking A.
It's almost open.
Okay, well, this looks like old water to me. I hope you can see that clearly on the camera. It's old water, definitely full of algae. I mean, there doesn't seem to be... There's nothing else inside. Nothing. I mean, I didn't think there would be anything, but still. Why then? What did he want to get in here for?
Alright, I'll admit this. I kind of want it to be a case where it turns out, for once, the arc character actually was not onto anything and they really were just nuts. Like, the reality is literally just what Anthony is thinking is, it's fucking nothing. It's nothing. Why? Nethero is like, where's my dead body? I was promised a corpse! Where's the corpse? Where's the dead child? Is this not an internet-based horror property? Where's the dead kid? For real though, it would be hysterical if it turns out. I know it's probably not gonna be that way. But if it turns out that there's nothing to this, it's just an old barrel, I kind of want it to be that.
I mean, he's not mentally well. But does that mean there's no logical reasoning behind his motives at all? I mean, that's not how crazy people are. I didn't think. Maybe there are some strange internal logic within his motivations, but it should still be something that is comprehensible, something that makes sense from some perspective. And is he crazy? Really? Well, we're putting a pin in the rain barrel thing for now, but there's more to find out. The other prominent symbol of these videos has been this. This one is more difficult to decipher. What it signifies, I don't know yet. Hollis certainly never makes any explicit reference to what it is. It's clearly of import, though. To him, at least. Shows up multiple times, and is also the icon in the bottom right corner of every video.
My bro is doing the job for me right now.
The only words attached to this symbol across all videos on this channel are, "How do I close you?" Immediately before this, in the same video, he says, "How do I open you?" in regard to the barrel, which seemed to be pretty literal. I guess I'll assume the same could be said of this object for now, but who knows? But it might not even represent an object, and instead some kind of abstract idea? I don't know. But I will figure it out. Even if it takes me video after video of my own to penetrate the mind of this person and find him, you won't see me getting all defeatist about it. I'm going to embrace this fate to change that of Hollis Coogan. Fate is trying to let him off for murder. And I'm going to make sure it doesn't.
With all the time I've spent pouring...
Okay, but you don't have him for murder yet. You are suspecting, and he's a damn strong suspect. Damn strong suspect. But you don't have him for that yet.
Over Hollis's videos on this channel, I've had a lot of half-formed ideas, made a lot of observations, and thought of a lot of questions that shouldn't really be in their own videos, so I'm just compiling them all here. There's a lot to look through. It's not just the videos, remember, but all the things he's written on the Twitter account and in video comments. Again, I don't know what's important for my purposes and what isn't, so I'm just making notes.
Yeah, there's a lot on the Twitter too, so it's cool that he's going to be able to go through that.
So here we go. This may or may not be the first of multiple videos like this. 1. Hollis has not only gone on record saying that the videos he's uploaded are for his own emotional catharsis, he's also stated that he has artistic inclinations and likes making films. This supports my already stated assumption that he uploaded on this channel in the first place just because he finds himself compelled to make videos. It's therapeutic to him. Of course, he's lied directly about a ton of things too, namely that my house was his house, so maybe I shouldn't take anything he writes too seriously.
2. Now, this is something that unsettles me quite a bit, and I have really no good explanation for it. Hollis continually uses images of my neighbors as his profile pictures online. This YouTube channel's profile picture is of a neighbor walking behind their fence, and it's taken from Hollis' second video, Blue Barrel. The current Twitter account is a blurred image of another neighbor leaving his house. It's taken from the 9th video, Windstorm Fortress.
Interesting. You like the meta aspect of Anthony being an investigator for a weird YouTube channel? Me too. I really like that, especially because it totally works with the setup. There are cases where you can take a character and put them in the horror media analyst role, and it doesn't work as well, because you can kind of tell, okay, you're making this character do this just for the sake of explaining to the audience because things did not line up for the puzzle pieces as well as they should have. But then there are cases like this where the character entirely has the motivation to do this.
I don't know what he was doing here, other than maybe mocking us, saying something like, "You don't know who I am, I could be this guy, or this guy, or this guy." I don't know. It does disturb me, though.
3. Often Hollis just rambled incoherently about being isolated and followed in his video descriptions, but in Blue Barrel, He seemed to think that the barrel had something in it, and that if it didn't, that wasn't good. In Contemplating Sadness, Terror, and Ostracization, he talks about having a responsibility that might lead to nothing good. In the Unsimulated Nightmare description, he just lists a bunch of disjointed words and phrases, but some words are capitalized, and the capitalized letters spell out, "It's happened, and there's nothing you can do." I assume that he speaks to, of course, what he did to Jordan.
4. There have been some, traditionally cryptographic images and codes in these videos at times. In the 10th video, It's Not My Fault, there's a sequence of different colored blinking dots. The kind and helpful people on Discord and Reddit who have helped investigate with me determined that this code spelled out, "If necessary, I will defend myself with force." The 3 colors of the dots correspond to a 0, 1, or 2, and the number of times each dot flashed gave a second digit. This linked each dot to a letter of the alphabet. I have to assume that Hollis was referring to defending himself against his entities when he said this. But if he was willing to use force against them, and willing to use force on a child, well, I guess I'll have to be ready for him to do the same with me if it gets to that point. There have been strange visuals too. Take this one, for example, at the beginning of the 11th video, Lay Me Down to Sleep. These images surely mean something. I've heard people say this looks like Hollis with his camera equipment, and others have said it might be a 2D representation of Hollis's entities or apparitions or whatever they were supposed to be. If anyone has any other ideas, or sees any parallels to this image elsewhere, I'd love to hear about it. 5. These apparitions. We've already discussed this, of course. They're not real in the way Hollis meant them to be, and I think the 8th video is testament to this fact. This is where Hollis notices they appeared outside the garage and on the sidewalk, but look at the face here after knowing what Hollis Coogan himself looks like. That's him. And I expect the person walking on the sidewalk isn't Hollis, but it was probably just a person who lives around here taking a late-night stroll. I don't know who Hollis thinks he was fooling here. 6. Right around the time Hollis did what he did to Jordan, he had a kind of breakdown on the Twitter account. He sent out some jumbled letters, probably anagrams. According to the subreddit, one of these spells out, "Don't follow me," probably referring to Hollis's flight into the woods, and the others could spell out multiple things or be unsolvable. After these, he tweeted out some text renderings of images. Some of these are discernible to me. This looks like my garages, which is where Hollis spent a lot of time, clearly.
That makes sense.
These look like kind of that symbol I've been trying to glean something from.
Mm-hmm.
The rest? I don't know. And
That one on the bottom almost feels like it's a fence, right? If they're supposed to be small, kind of rough symbols of things that he's seeing, that one on the bottom would kind of be a fence. The one above it would be 2 people, almost like a parent and a child. Yeah, Fred, that's what I'm thinking. The tall and short man could be him and the little brother. As for the 2 above, it follows the same kind of pattern, but they're very tall. Forest? Maybe Sweet Sparkles. Could be a guy next to a street lamp? Maybe. So now we know how to interpret those, roughly.
And last for now, 7. There's the question of why the audio in the last of Hollis's uploads is cut out. Until the moment he's escaped into the woods, there's no sound. I'm hoping you'll all have some possible reason for this, because I can't be sure. But I will say this much. The fact that the video is only silent until the woods strikes me as odd. If Hollis just removed the audio entirely, I wouldn't ponder it so much, but why bring the audio back in eventually? There has to be some sound he didn't want us to hear until he gets to the woods. Maybe it's the sound of the police sirens. Those obviously would have been audible as the cops pulled into our driveway, but I remember that sound lasted only a few seconds, and Hollis keeps the audio cut until he is a long time and a long way away from my house, so I don't know. I think there has to be more to this one. Well, as I learn more, I'll document more. Anyone who's helping me out in deciphering all this, or even if you're just giving me some moral support, thanks. It is much appreciated. When we find this murderer, Hollis Coogan, it'll be all our victory.
So that was the photo. It was Hollis confirming it was him. Okay. No, I did not catch that in rapid succession. I'm sorry. This is unmistakably to the arc kind of stuff, mixed in with some other influences that I can detect. I bet you wish you could forget. Alright, so now he is really hinting that
I'm not exactly
Anthony has had something that he has buried. When I think back about Marble Hornets, after all the time that I've spent analyzing media like this, I realize there's some stuff in there that I can't rightfully defend nowadays nearly as much in terms of character writing and reasoning. To the arc's approach is one of those things, especially the codes. When it comes to Coogan here, though, we had an entire lead-up of understanding that this is just the way this guy communicates. The video work, especially the artsy video work, is just who he is. So to be in this position now, talking in this way, it works for his character, and we have established grounds to understand it and believe it, knowing that he's not well. Sure, there might be paranormal entities haunting him, but we have more reason to believe this kind of behavior coming from Hollis Coogan than we did with To the Ark. Especially understanding now, very well understanding, Maskey and Hoodie were not insane. It was not the operator driving them to their mad videos. They just kinda did that while scaring Jay and attempting to keep the operator out of their heads. Like, they might have been a little bit messed up trying to fight the operator, and it could have pushed them a touch in that direction, but overall, when I've thought about it over time, I realized I did not have the experience analyzing media at that point to understand how much that did not truly work in terms of character logic. I do now. I still love it. I still love it. It's still the grandfather. It made the foundation of this stuff, but in terms of actually justifying it, the Hollis Coogan character, there's more justification. What was the inspiration for my character model? I'm, me. I upgraded from a house cat to a bobcat, effectively. And I've got a bit of bat DNA in me now. I moved up the big cat chain, mixed in with some bats.
I'm not exactly sure how much time we have here. I don't know when they're leaving. But let me try to explain while I can. As you saw in the video Hollis uploaded recently, he's still mocking me, threatening me. He told me in scrambled letters to look over my shoulder while I still can. But he also said that there are things I can't hide, things I can't bury. Bury. Look at the word bury. It blinks. I think he was trying to draw my attention to that word. Hollis certainly pays attention to detail. I cannot imagine that this was unintentional. And so it got me to thinking. This is something I noticed right when it was uploaded, but it seemed like such a stretch at the time that I never mentioned it. But look at this moment in video number 13. As Hollis begins to run away from behind my garages, there's a little patch of dirt. It looks like it was recently excavated, doesn't it? And that's what it still looks like back there now. I mean, the grass back there has always been kinda patchy, but that spot looks distinctly like it was disturbed recently. And this detail is more closely related to the word bury than anything else I can find in the videos. So my plan is to dig there. And hopefully I can do it when my parents are gone, so I won't need to explain.
It's interesting how active the main character is while solving the mystery, very different from a typical ARG. Yeah, I could say that there's a lot more involvement here from Anthony than we get a lot of the time. Sometimes you do get kind of mad at main characters, don't you? Like, why are you not being as proactive as you should be? Why are you not putting things together, you know? Granted, we know why, but this is one of those aspects of seeing what came before in projects and realizing we're not going to be like that. No, we're going to address that issue. Because we've seen a lot of main characters who were just not very smart and not very proactive. And I really love that. Applause to that.
I don't know how deep something would be, but I got nothing yet. Oh my god. Oh fuck. On some level, I just didn't necessarily think there'd be anything. I mean, you hear stories about, but like, I don't know if I want to see what's on there.
Damn! You know what? That rollaway was good too. That was a good reaction. That was actually pretty damn good. That wasn't even the brother. No, that seemed like a man. Damn, dude. What?
Okay, who was, why was that buried in my backyard? Okay, that had to be Hollis doing that, right? That had to be Hollis? Oh God. This... Oh God, I can't have this here. They can't see this. Okay, fuck. What do I do? What should I do? What would you all do? I mean, this is crazy.
You know exactly what you would do with this in this circumstance, but you are not gonna do it. Because you're an unfiction protagonist.
I don't understand. All I know is that Hollis led me to this. He told me not to bury something. I don't know if I can do this. I knew it was dangerous, that there was some element of risk, but this? I don't know what to do anymore. I just wish I knew why. For all of it. He said I can't bury this. Me. He did it, but he wants you to think it was me. That's it. That's what he was doing here. The whole time. He killed a person before Jordan. And he had to hide the body. That's why he was trying to get that barrel open. It has to be. He wanted it all here. He wanted it all on my property. The body. I just didn't see it. I didn't even see it until now. Hollis knew there was nothing in the rain barrel. He wasn't trying to open it to see what was inside. He was trying to open it to put something inside. The guy's body. That's why he was so careful. He had to do it under the cover of night at the very least. But even then, if someone saw him, yeah, it would have been over. But where was that body the whole time? I mean, where did he keep it? See for yourself what I just realized. It was always there. That's surely not big enough for a whole body, but he absolutely eviscerated that man in the snuff video. That's what was left of him in there.
Mm-hmm.
It was always there. In the garage.
It felt suspicious. Whenever I saw the garbage bag, there was a sense I had of, that's a little too prominent. There's something with the garbage bag. You know, you kind of notice it, you think, okay. And sure enough.
And after Jordan, when he went to hide in the shed, he brought it with him in there too. And that's what it was. You see, even the yellow handles, they're there. He wanted to close it, close the whole thing, close the case, put an end to it, pin it on someone else.
Fucking brilliant. Brilliant. It was a garbage bag. The yellow ties, and it was colored red because it was filled with gore. Oh, I love it.
But he never quite got the chance. See it there too? He had to run with it. And that's why he cut the audio. He didn't want us to hear that damn bag while he was carrying it away from my house. He put it down in the woods, so he didn't have to cut the audio there. But then he showed it. I mean, did he just fuck up? Or did he think he could pass it off as random litter or something? Holy shit. Jordan might be... He might be in there too. At that point.
Way to be a dick to your mom, bro.
No, there's nothing. We turned this place upside down when Jordan went missing.
Not the couch. Please, not the couch.
Now that I know what this is about, what do I do?
You don't destroy it. Also, we remember that shot of whatever those metal pipe bits are from earlier. Maybe there's something under there. Some unsolicited advice, Anthony, but nonetheless some advice that ought to be given real thought. If you require my input again as these mysterious circumstances unfold, I may be able to offer it to you, but I can't make any promises. Thanks for conversing with me. Oh, you're getting real ballsy now, kid, huh? Oh, man, you're just putting them on the table.
Hi, Anthony. Can I have a real talk with you? It's been a while since you and I have been together in the same place. And I think that you could use some advice.
Oh, he is not well. I already love how he's playing this character. Oh, he is off.
Now, speaking as an impartial observer, you seem unsure of what to do right now. And arguably, every move that you make is putting you in a worse position than you were in beforehand. The good news is that, with all of that taken into account, I would say your next move is fairly straightforward. It's what people do when circumstances are outside their control. Go to the police. To be completely honest with you, I don't understand why you didn't go to the police before now. Is it so important to shield your parents from what may have happened that you would be willing to put yourself in this kind of situation? Go to the police, Anthony. And another thing that we should discuss. It's not becoming to make accusations the way you did, Anthony. Now, there's no harm done. Everything will turn out all right. But for what it's worth, I would like to make an impromptu claim of my own right now. This, in fact, contains the items you see in front of you now. Some have expressed their sympathies to me, you know. They recognize that it hasn't been easy to travel so lightly to a new location. But it's okay, Anthony, because I'm not actually traveling lightly. I have the truth with me, and faith and resolve.
Handcuffs.
That's why I know I'll be okay.
And blood on this. Yeah, there's the cuffs.
With me, and faith and resolve. That's why I know I'll be okay. You know, it's funny. Words. Words are funny. They really are free agents, aren't they? So often, they are sent forth into the world with a specific charge from a specific speaker, and then they accomplish the exact opposite of the original purpose.
I've been doing.
Alright, now come on, give us the rundown of everything that you just got from that video. Give us the secret language. What if they're both murderers with dirt on each other playing chicken with who can out the other first? Like some Death Note shit? That would be sick. This is getting nuts, dude. I really like the way that Hollis is portrayed. And yeah, he can't look at the camera most of the time. He's got a very specific way about him that I very much enjoy. Where you can tell, like, he's tapped, but he's smart. Look at the placement of the poster. Yes. Okay, Secret Stars has the hookup. Thank you, Secret Stars. The web ding wing ding clues in vid 20 translate to: was it you? Was it me? Are you hiding too? Why are you hiding? The single frame image of text at the end of video 20 reads: think of all the ways I can hurt you.
Been a lot of thinking lately, and it's evident that Hollis's intent and what he actually can do are two different things. I do not appear in the video of that guy being murdered, so Hollis cannot frame me as a murderer with that footage alone. So, I mean, what do I have to worry about, right? The worst that can happen is that a subset of this channel's viewers don't trust me, and not to be rude or ungrateful or anything, but that's not really bad enough to discourage me from going out.
Oh yeah, Avatar Hippo, I feel it. This was a great pick for tonight. This really was, I'm so happy it turned out this good. It's just, with all these elements in it, because it feels so correct for tonight.
I've made peace with the skepticism around me, and after Hollis's last video, I think I've reached an understanding. I need to rededicate myself to this whole thing. Look, even if you're not convinced that Hollis did anything wrong, and it's unlikely that he didn't, then it's at least indisputable that he's involved in some way. He was at my house for months, after all. He hasn't explicitly refuted my accusations against him either. I gotta find him. So, why don't I go to the police? Because my parents cannot find out this way. And at this point, I don't even know what they themselves would be stumbling upon. With every passing day, every passing video, it just seems to get murkier. You don't know my parents. I can't put them through this. Not at least until I know where Hollis is, and I have conclusive evidence that he's guilty. Everything needs to be on the table. I haven't gotten there yet. It's important to realize, I'm not in any direct danger. Not at the moment, at least. Hollis has threatened me, but there's no indication he can follow through with any of it. He's hiding from me. Why exactly, I don't know. But the person who's most at risk of harm, I think it's the person Hollis is staying with right now. This has, of course, been on our radar since video 18. You can see this guy in the background a couple times, silhouetted, and as someone pointed out to me in the comments of video 20, there might be someone off camera in that one. Who is this person? If this place where Hollis is staying belongs to whoever it is, then the guy strikes me as a fairly normal individual, right? I mean, he lives in a small apartment. Maybe it's a family member of Hollis's? I wasn't able to find out much about Hollis online, but I found even less about relatives. I guess this would be my assumption for now. Imagine if it's a stranger. Some good Samaritan who's letting Hollis stay there out of the kindness of his heart. We all know what Hollis might do to strangers. And if they didn't know each other before now, or hell, even if they did, then I worry about that guy's safety. Whoever he is. Probably knows nothing about what Hollis is involved in. If he did, I mean, he would not let him stay with him, would he? Tracking down Hollis is about Jordan. It's always been about Jordan, and it will always be about Jordan. Doing right by him, my parents, myself. But it's become clear that it's about other people, too. When I find you, Hollis Coogan, it will be for Jordan. It'll be for the man you killed first. The man whose identity I don't even know. And I'm willing to bet it'll be for your new potential target, too. This is why I'm not giving up, see? When you're doing things for other people, instead of for self-preservation, your resolve will never weaken. Oh, and, by the way, I guess I'll bring this up, because you surely wouldn't have shown them if you didn't have a good reason, but what's with those handcuffs in the bag, dude? Why are they there? Did I keep you change in the garage or something? Finding Hollis is going to be a drawn-out process, no matter what. I mean, it already has been so far. But the way I see it, the first step in figuring out where Hollis has gone is to question all the people he's been in contact with on these online accounts of his. As you know, they're my accounts now, so I can see everything you once sent to people. I actually maintained quite a few conversations with people. This would have been between August 1st and September 6th, 2020. I've been systematically going through his old direct messages on Twitter, and on Instagram as well, of course. There's a surprising number of people. Hollis stayed in relatively regular contact with a fair few of them. Looks like these are all just normal people who reached out to him to ask him about what he was doing, why he was being so mysterious about everything. Not like he knew any of them beforehand or anything. But if he established any kind of relationship with anyone online, then it's possible he revealed more to them than he ever revealed publicly. He could have spoken with anyone about anything. I mean, over email or something. There's no way of knowing unless I try to ask all these people about it. This process will span a while, and I'll update you all as it continues. Maybe it's not guaranteed to get me anywhere, but it feels like there's a lot of opportunity in reaching out to people like this. I am optimistic, which is more than could be said for how I felt after that USB. With that in mind, keep threatening me, Hollis. Hey everyone, there's something important we need to do, but I'll update you.
There's not a lot of projects that have a dynamic like this. The closest parallel you can draw, again, is Marble Hornets, with Jay and To the Ark. And even then, it wasn't like this. This feels so much more direct, actively antagonistic. It's different, you know? I really like that.
These Twitter interrogations, they've been taking some time, and in that time that I've been waiting for people to get back to me, it's been just consuming me mentally. The question is, have I found anything out yet? I can't say for sure. I haven't come to any concrete conclusions or anything, but having looked through these old conversations and asked people more about them, I can say definitively that nobody's given Hollis an email or any other contact information, at least not overtly. The process basically became a matter of looking deeper into the mundane conversations. See if anyone who acted like they didn't know Hollis actually did, and communicated with him using some kind of subtle code, and when questioning people, trying to catch them in lies. But from that vantage point, I didn't come away totally empty-handed. There are 3 direct messages on the Hiding My Home Twitter account, from back when Hollis was controlling it, that is. 3 messages that Hollis never responded to. When I tried to reach out to them, they didn't respond to me. On the face of it, there's nothing weird about these messages, but read it for yourself. See, it's hard. It's hard to know what's relevant and what's not. These people could just be speaking to Hollis with complete innocence and naivety, or because from the very beginning, as you all obviously know, people thought that this YouTube channel, the Twitter account, the whole thing, was a web series, an ARG, where apparently people can inject themselves into the story and make up false leads. I don't know if there's more to these messages than meets the eye, or if they're actually relevant to anything, but they are strange. See if you can discern something more from them, and I'll do the same. With that out of the way, here's the main thing for this video. I've been holding this chip back for a little while now, but I decided I just gotta get on with it. The doctor. In video 10, Hollis played us a voicemail from his psychiatrist, who was concerned that he was missing appointments.
When a patient misses 2 appointments in a row and doesn't contact me at all, it does weigh on me a bit.
Think of all the things he could hypothetically tell us about Hollis. Of course, talking to this guy was a difficult prospect. In the voicemail video, Hollis put distortion over the doctor's name and his own. At a glance, there would have been no way to contact him, no way to figure out who he is. Except that now, I know Hollis' name. So, before I started filming, I looked through all the mental health clinics in the area where Hollis and I live, or at least where Hollis used to live. I looked them up, looked up their phone numbers, and in a lot of cases, each individual practitioner's number was listed. I called, posing as Hollis' father innocently enough, all the various clinics, and
If I got the wrong one, I just said I was confused about which place Hollis went to. He makes his own appointments after all. And then, I hit bingo. I called the main line at a particular clinic where they said the name of Hollis's psychiatrist. His name is Dr. Elliot Tanner, and his office is not too far from here. So, while I still have a little adrenaline pumping, I'm gonna call him. Now, he can't just talk openly about a patient, so I need to do this right. I'm gonna have to weasel it out of him, nice and subtly. But I do have a plan for that. I'm not gonna procrastinate. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, this is not legal at all. And would not work.
Hello?
Hello, is this Dr. Tanner? Elliot Tanner.
It is, yes. May I help you with something?
Well, my name is Robert Coogan. My son Hollis, I believe, is a patient of yours.
Oh, yes, Hollis. Yes, I've called Hollis a few times over the last couple of months because he stopped coming in for his appointments. I don't suppose you're calling to let me know why that is.
Unfortunately, yes, that is the reason I'm calling. In fact, I heard the voicemails you left on Hollis' phone, and I thought I'd do you the courtesy of letting you know about this. Hollis passed away a couple of weeks ago. It was very sudden. There was an underlying heart condition of some kind. We had the service last week. Tina, my wife, it's been very difficult for us. And I just wanted to let you know so you wouldn't worry.
I don't know what to say. Mr. Coogan, I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Hollis, having spoken with him over the last year, I got to know him, and he was just...
I can't with this part. I really can't, because, alright, I mean, with all projects, there's an element of suspending your disbelief. We know this. There are things, though, that you kind of have to take a leap. Like, really squat down and jump to suspend your disbelief. Crossing that gap. This is one of those moments, and it's not working. This was not it, dude. This is where your writing is really falling flat here. No. It's not even about Anthony having no qualms about whatever action he feels he needs to take while keeping cops out of it. It's just the fact of, this is stupid. Aqua Ace, though, says, as a social worker, people really do just stupid violations because of emotional reasons. It's not often, but I've had people just drop info to Guardians before getting a release of info approved. This is still pretty badly played out, though. Like, I believe it. I do believe that. But it also is pretty badly played out. I feel like there could have been another angle, you know?
One of the most motivated people I've ever met. I'm just so sorry. That's the pain I can't even imagine.
Thank you, Doctor. That really means a lot to me.
Yeah, Inky Doodles, that's the quiet part, which, that's inherent in this, you know? It's the fact of how young they are. Are things more believable if you aged them up both about 5 years? Yes. But this part especially, I can't buy it. You know, the youth is too much of a factor here for this to have worked. Now that's an excellent point, Happy Owl Boy. We have seen that the Mad Kid's parents have put up missing flyers. Why has he not called them? I get not wanting to put his own parents in this, but he does have a missing flyer and the other's name and face on video. You're very right, because you would have an easier shot getting a whole info dump out of the parents than you would going about things this way. Yeah, they gave themselves the path to pursue early on, it was right there. It was in the toolkit, and they didn't use it. That's unfortunate. Because this part is just... This is the moment on the Disney ride where you see an animatronic that looks like an animatronic. And it's the only one. It's like, oh, why did they do that? Unfortunate. And this is the point at which I come back in the usual way, because all the animatronics became animatronics from here, each more mechanical in turn. It's actually going to be like 60% stream footage, 40% editing afterpiece flow now. Any idea of presenting any live footage beyond what's necessary here versus summaries and composed commentary is entirely out of the question from this upload. Let's begin with the truly obvious. Anthony not only sounds far too young to be Hollis's father, which is a matter that really couldn't be helped, and I won't entirely hold it against him. He is playing one of the most suspicious, badly pitched plays in his entire set of potential actions to pursue Hollis. What could go wrong with this approach? More like what could actually go right. Not simply for our ability to stay with the narrative, but for the actual quality of the narrative as it was established. Because it was established so wonderfully for a cat and mouse game. Detective and killer, wanted man and bounty hunter. A beat-for-beat chase that could have gone into something so much more potent. And the path taken was the most difficult sell we could ever be asked to swallow. Calling someone's therapist, posing as their father, saying the patient died, and inquiring about what was discussed in sessions, and not selling it at all. All to get what? Info that Hollis was prescribed an antipsychotic. Okay, the angle taken for the story has been more solidly chosen now. The issue is human, not paranormal. Next, we have the video A Small Gift, in which Hollis is talking to the voices or whoever he's living with while the handcuffs hang from the window blinds. He's happy about Anthony investigating, actually, and then seems even happier after finding footage on his camera that gives us the impression he shouldn't have, asking Anthony why he would have it. And Anthony has a response.
A lot of things happened. Have been happening. For one thing, Hollis showed us the footage. I guess he's trying to say it was me at the edge of that shot, meaning that I had his camera for some reason. It's pretty smart, actually. But not hard to fabricate that. Not hard for someone like Hollis. I'm willing to bet that when I find him in his laptop, there'll be an extensive After Effects file making that look nice and real. Unless cover distraction deleted it. Maybe one of his entities told him to do that. But there'll be plenty more evidence against him either way. But then, of course, you remember, in my last video, I showed you those Twitter messages. Well, it didn't take long, but people in the Hiding in My Home Discord did find something in them. 3 sets of characters that, when you put them together, give you an email address. People sent emails to it, and they got responses from someone who acted like part of some company. Regional protectorates. They basically asked people to send anagrams on Twitter, most of which are still unsolved. Nobody really knows anything else yet. I don't know, see, this is so far removed from anything we've seen so far. I was still under the impression that it was someone, some new person trying to hijack this whole thing as their story after seeing the messages in my video. I mean, come on. Regional protectorates? Some mysterious organization? That sounds pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then, a few days ago, I got a message on Twitter. Some guy told me to email him at his address. A different one. It was not the coded email address. Whoever this is, he said he knew someone who could help me. Now, I don't know if this is really connected to the first email address, but it didn't seem like it. It seemed completely different, so I emailed him. Now, I'm not going to show you the emails, because he asked me not to, but he basically said that he'd like to meet in person. Whoever this is, he must live fairly close by, or close enough to drive to me, because he asked to meet me in a public park about a half hour from my house. He didn't ask me where I live, and I didn't tell him. Oh, and he also said this wouldn't cost me any money, for what that's worth. I asked him what we were going to talk about, of course, if he had any information he could give me right then about Hollis or anything, and he said he didn't. He's just going to put me in contact with this other person.
I feel... Yeah, my cat senses are tingling, and I don't like what I'm hearing here. I don't, It does feel a little bit out of the freaking blue. Not sure I like this. Let's see where it goes. Anthony arms himself with a short Walmart standard steak knife and goes to the meeting location. Pretty usual unfiction mystery plot device, meeting up with mysterious figures who have info to give or help to provide during a dead end. Though the company angle is still rather ludicrous to me and intrusive on the existing atmosphere of the narrative, since why would this be a mysterious outstretched hand to people online in this fashion? Awful way of attracting services. A mystery man does indeed show up for Anthony, and Anthony had the sense at least to cover his head in post.
You're Anthony.
Yeah, thanks for coming. You are?
As you know, I'm here on behalf of my employer and your potential future client. He discovered your online accounts and took an interest in your dilemma.
Right, yeah, that's excellent. I'm really appreciative of his offer. So, how does he plan to help me? Does he know anything about, Hollis Coogan? I know you said you don't personally, but did he tell you? Hey,
Sorry, just looking around. In this case, he only told me to make the connection between the two of you. I don't know anything about this person you're dealing with, but I can tell you that my employer's an intelligent man. He's done a lot of investigative work in his day. Much of it in a similar vein to yours. I expect he wouldn't make you an offer if he couldn't provide you with some real help.
investigative work? Like a private investigator? Is it specifically detective work that he does?
For you, yes. This is his phone number. Do you want it?
So a phone number. Do I just text him and he'll respond?
Call him. He'll pick up. It's a secure line. Now, when you do, you'll first tell him who you are. Then he'll go over some of the generalities of the transaction with you. His services, his payment, and things that you both should and can do.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Payment? I thought you said there was no money involved.
Not money. He'll ask you for something else. And one other thing, you can expect to see the level of courtesy you exhibit toward him reflected in the efficiency of his work for you. So, you have any questions?
You sure you didn't hear anything? You can't help me yourself at all?
Don't think I can. Sorry about that. You take care.
But why was this outfit sending messages to Hollis? What kind of service were they hoping to provide to Hollis Coogan instead of Anthony? Back when Coogan had the channel and the accounts. I mean, it's really freewheeling and trying to find its ground. The case for suspension of disbelief is almost as weak here as it was during the Dr. Tanner phone call. The discussion is wandering. The mystery connector's comfort with Anthony filming him is not easy to dismiss. The whole conversation isn't improvised to a sense of secrecy or speed. Anthony gets what he needs though, and next we have footage from Haas's perspective that at first seems totally unrelated as he walks into the woods and drops a note off at a tree during winter. On watching the series back, you realize he's running an odd errand for the same kind of mystery company that Anthony is contacting. Hollis then returns to the place that he's crashing, talks to his roommate who leaves, and then investigates 3 laptops in a bedroom, looking for files that appear to be deleted. The sequence confirms he's in an easygoing sort of roommate relationship and that he's looking for something, but not much else. And then the video I close my eyes and reject, which, I kid you not, is majorly just Hollis walking somewhere with his roommate to do something, ending up in a tunnel with blood on the walls and intimidation towards Anthony. Most of it is scenery shots, and I had to stop a moment to discuss this. Especially since what's it telling us exactly? Yeah, you found the point here. We have establishing shots that go into this stuff. We have B-roll for environment and feeling, but there's a limit to that, you know? There's a point at which you establish it and then you kind of move on. For the tracks here, probably didn't need the tracks that came before it through the rocky area, or we could have had a few seconds of that and then jump to this. We could have had a lot of cuts that go on in this episode. It's just because they thought, this will look cool. Well, here's the thing about it. Here's the thing is, when it comes to projects like this, the rule of cool is a thing. Sometimes we do gotta observe the rule of cool. So you observe the rule of cool a little bit, but you temper it with the amount of time that you can actually enjoy it as cool and then keep things moving along. Why do I need to solve this one, Hollis? You gave me literally all the actual words and you just moved them around. Why wouldn't you just... Why do you even need an unnecessary step there in order to order it? That's just tedium. Next up, Anthony comes back to describe what's happened over the past 2 months. If he's summarizing, I'm going to edit this to a summarizing approach too. Let's keep it moving. We've got an establishing plot to see if we can find again.
I don't know, you guys. I mean, what the hell was that about? I mean, why did there have to be all this intermediary garbage? Like, first it was Twitter, then it was email, then it was phone number. I mean, why can't I just get help? God. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I just can't sleep is all. I feel like something bad is happening. Right now. Do any of you guys ever feel like that? You know what I'm talking about? My house feels so small. Like there wouldn't be a good place to hide if someone came in again. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and after getting that phone number, I wasn't really sure what to do. I mean, it felt nice to have somebody who seemingly wanted to help, but I have no idea what I'm getting into. Who was that guy? Really? Since that video posted by Hollis, video 25, do you see where I'm coming from?
Investigator main character sits down, talks to the camera about all sorts of things that they've been through. Really tries to speak to the audience as fellow character, summarizing sort of deal, and it can still work. It's kind of a relic, but the delivery has to be more grounded in reality than this, and less presentation, more actual vlog. You know, it's got to have the air of a vlogger rather than I'm acting and I have lines. That's why it's really not working here so much. It's definitely hitting a touch more B-movie. I still love it as a trope. Still always gonna be near and dear to me. Yeah, Score and 10 Tapes had good versions of these scenes. Jeff did good at that. He really understood you've got to keep talking to the audience in these situations, but you really can't be a character so much. But that's what I want to say about this specific piece, is it's a trope, and it has its place, and it's still near and dear to me, but it's not working so hot here.
When I say that video has disconcerted me more than any other one Hollis has posted, I mean, up to this point, I've been confused by the things Hollis has done, but I had something to go off of. But what was that? He walked into the woods, wrote words that start with E, H, and S, and pieces of... You don't need me to explain it. You all saw that shit. I am done with not getting anywhere. Whatever Hollis is doing, I do not feel good about it. At all. Between direct messages, these people, the words on the paper, the person he's staying with. What the hell was that about, by the way? When he left the apartment?
And is there more than one bed? Is Hollis getting laid? Why does Hollis get laid? Who is he with? And aren't they fucking... I'm sorry, I had to. It was right there.
What were those fucking computer files he was looking at? I need an advantage. I need help from somebody who knows what they're doing. This guy's been missing for months.
Does Hollis top or bottom or does he twitch? Is he versatile? I'm sorry. I had to. If you're sleeping with Hollis, you better hope he hits that shit crazy style, cause he's nuts. Marcus Crocs has a good point here. Going to be honest, Hollis as an antagonist is interesting, but Anthony isn't matching that energy. Agreed. I mean, Anthony's character is consistent, though. I'm going to say that. Consistently terrible is kind of the point.
Hello?
But also, yes, consistently terrible.
I met someone. He told me to call you. Sorry, what? Oh, it was Terrace Park. Your employee told me to call you. Yeah. Yes, I am. You... Really? So you know everything that's going on. Do you know something about Hollis that I don't? Yeah, I understand.
Hey, yo, props for actually having the sound come out of the phone, though. Bro's about to become a service top? What?
About 30 minutes away now. I've been waiting 2 weeks for this. I've never felt worse in my life. It's just every negative emotion possible in sequence 20 times each. I felt like it was a trick. Like he wouldn't call. Even that wasn't half as anxiety inducing as when I thought he would call. Keeping it from my parents, I've constantly felt like this. Hollis, and whoever that is that he's with, it's always been about building a case against me. Hollis couldn't get that body in the barrel to implicate me. But blood in a tunnel in the woods?
See, this is where I have to cut Anthony off, and I did go into this a bit after the upload ends. Was that the story that was occurring? Because it barely registers in the execution. Maybe the angle is that Anthony is simply presenting this as his belief of what's happening, but it's hard to actually agree with him on that point, especially when Hollis is a random lunatic who legitimately told him, take it to the police, and Anthony had all the evidence on his side. The story as we've known it isn't holding much at all anymore. This is very sidetracked. And as for the task that Anthony has to do for payment, it's going to a particular building into its lobby to put a notice on a board. That's it. Lady Strangely says, this may sound weird, but it's kind of cool to be part of the audience participation in a slow fail. One of the interesting things about this format is I get to experience a project and all of the ways that I would have it come to me and the impressions upon me while you're here. Like, you get to be in the room at the same time, and we get to share the experience. That's not something that happens often when it comes to Nightmind videos, you know? Like, I can't really deliver my sit-down with something in a scripted fashion. I can do point for point, but it's like, as soon as I discover something where I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, or oh, fuck no, where I'm watching a project, you're actually here for it. You know, and then we get to examine, why did this happen this way? Why do I feel this way? It's constantly, it's like autopsies. You know, it's like, all right, Give me the saw. Let's rip them open and see what killed this one. I'm also thinking right now with this, Anthony, he believes that Hollis is still trying to set him up for a murder. And I just don't see it. Like, I'm not on board with that idea because I'm still not seeing the evidence that leads me down the path of thinking that he is making moves to give that impression to Anthony. The conflict between them is a matter of this weird-ass guy was haunting my place. My brother went missing. I'm convinced he has something to do with it. Why aren't we back on that idea instead of, I think he's trying to frame me for murder? Because we have the evidence, sort of, through the USB drive, that Hollis is a murderer or knows about a murder, and it's just, there's a conflict driver here that is not, like the oomph went out of this. The oomph went out of the conflict driver. The relationship dynamic ain't working so hot anymore. And again, it's like, what happened to that relationship dynamic? This could have been some fun-ass Death Note shit, you know? It's not following that line. Now we're getting third-partied. The video Synchronous follows, showing interchanging shots of Anthony in the den of his home and Hollis while he was there, approaching a large teddy bear on a chair, which presumably belonged to Jordan. Anthony sits down with us again, addressing Hollis after getting his payment from the mysterious company guy, and paying us in the process by driving the series back to the original narrative.
Hi, Hollis. Are you scared? Trust me, if you are, I get it. I was scared too. For a long time. It will fade eventually. But fear isn't about the unknown. You know that, in fact. You once pointed out the difference between horror and terror. It's not about the unknown. It's about the dawning comprehension of something unavoidable. And once that comprehension settles, you accept it. But I'm not cruel. I'm not going to keep you in suspense and drag this out any longer. But I do have to ask you one thing. What did you leave here?
Okay. Come on. Impress us. Impress us. Bring it in. Bring it in. I know you've got it in you guys. Come on. Bring us something here. Give us that Death Note shit.
Anything else when you left that night?
Okay, yup, we're bringing it back here. Good.
The fact that I have to hold this, that I have to hold it and talk about it on camera, is a punishment from fucking hell. But I have to do it. So I will. I won't take credit for this. Linking all these videos together, that was my ally's work. It's what he had in mind when I called him. And so, Hollis, you see it here in this bag, so that it doesn't get contaminated from this point forward. And my ally and I can confirm what you and I already know. It doesn't look like it did back in September. Back when you, Hollis, used it for that loathsome act. Unless you cleaned it very, very thoroughly in the last few hours you were in my shed, I can link you and Jordan together with this one object. And you know what? I'm sorry, Hollis. I know you probably don't know what you're doing and you do awful things, but you ruined my family's lives. And you'll get what's coming to you. And that's it. I have nothing to say to you.
Okay, so the insinuation here is that Hollis got scared by Jordan catching him in the shed, or the garage. He picked up a railroad spike, and he used it to hit Jordan. Maybe mistaking him for a paranormal entity. That's why he was covered in blood. That's why Jordan went missing. And yeah, as you guys have pointed out, he touched it, which is evidence. He shouldn't have done it. Yes, it's a murder weapon, effectively, that he thinks he has, according to the secret contact. From here, Hollis goes back to Anthony's house and breaks in, hoping to find the murder weapon. He goes all around the place but has no luck, and overhears Anthony waking up. Calling the contact for the company who helped him, convinced Hollis broke into the home, not knowing he's still there. And then Hollis broke through the window at full force! Action hero style! We follow up from Anthony's side as he speaks to the company contact, who points out that Anthony has little evidence to prove Hollis has already come back, and is just kinda done with dealing with him. Anthony goes looking around, successfully spots Hollis, and then follows him all the way back to his apartment, a feat which I could not ignore commenting on. So, the character who started out constantly feeling followed by paranormal entities at night while walking did not notice his only antagonist at this point following him for like an hour walking around at night. So then Anthony starts his next video with a phone call from the company man telling him the precise apartment in the building and when it'll be empty. Anthony goes in looking for something after apparently learning how to lockpick. Guess that happened off screen. We don't even know what Anthony's looking for based on the start of the video, but he finds the laptops wiped of the video folders Hollis didn't even find useful. He then decides, instead of leaving, to sit and wait for a confrontation.
What is this?
Is Hollis with you?
What? No. What are you doing in my apartment?
Do you know who I am? Do you recognize me?
I don't know. Why did you break into my apartment? Are you... So you're looking to talk to Hollis, is that right?
Maybe. You might do just fine. Depending on what you know.
Know about what?
Why is Hollis staying here? How are you helping him? And where's the bag? Those files on the laptop. What happened to those? Wait, hey, no!
Stop!
Bro, you just uploaded a crime. On top of your crime. you broke it. You did breaking and entering, and then assault, and then whatever they would list this as, because it's not kidnapping, but it's certainly illegal. And you uploaded this, bro.
Hey, wake up. Hey, listen.
Welcome in, ladies.
I'm sorry. If you just give me a few minutes, please, I'll show you some things. There are videos that would explain how Hollis did something to me, and I need to find him. Hey, please, I know, I can't defend what I did. Please let me show you the videos. Hollis killed my little brother.
I don't know what he told you, so you would let him stay here, but he's a murderer. I need to find it. Please. Do you know anything?
Anthony, Hollis is gone.
What?
He left yesterday, and it's doubtful he's coming back.
So you know me? You know what's going on?
Unfortunately, Hollis doesn't trust me anymore. I'm not sure what I did, but there you have it. Anthony, you're not going to get away with it.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I...
No, you're not going to get away with anything. You're too damn persistent for your own good, and remarkably naive. Didn't you see what he took from your house?
I thought you said he didn't trust you anymore.
Go to the counter, look under those papers.
What? What the fuck is this? Why the fuck does this exist? Where is this? When... This didn't happen. Why is this happening to me?
Hollis did not manufacture that image. I see no reason for him to have done so. The most recent disappearance troubles me, certainly. I'll need to look into it, but don't expect me to side with you.
You...
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you're a criminal.
I've heard your voice before.
I don't know how things will develop here, Anthony, but I can tell you that if you see me again, it will only be under unpleasant circumstances.
Yeah, savages. Yeah.
When a patient misses 2 appointments in a row and doesn't contact me at all, it does weigh on me a bit.
Well, I've called Hollis a few times over the last couple of months because he stopped coming in for his appointments. You're too damn persistent for your own good, and remarkably naive. Didn't you see what he took from your house?
Hello, Robert Dolly. Welcome in. Thank you. Yeah, wow. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? What is going on? Chat, are we back? like in a really roundabout, weird way. I don't, like, it's so fucked that I almost feel like I'm reinvested just for how fucking whack this is right now. I'm not impressed, I don't think. I'm shocked. And it's making me be like, that's so insane. What the hell you're trying now? That you got, okay, it's like, my ass was ready to leave. Somebody brought out, like, dessert is out. I'll grab some cookies and roll, whatever, man. But then somebody is working on some whack, insane shit that I've never tried that is super appealing, but it's gonna take 15 minutes. Like, I'll wait. I gotta try this. I gotta taste this. I've got to see. What the fuck kind of twist is this? There is a term that's been around for a while in the world of media criticism: jumping the shark. It's in reference to an episode of a sitcom from the 70s called Happy Days, in which one of the main characters goes water skiing for a stunt that involves jumping over a shark, which was so irrelevant to the premise of the show and its original setting that it was cartoonish. The term's been used ever since to refer to moments in a story where things have gotten so far from the main idea that things on the level of water skiing shark jumping tricks are what's occurring now, and it's not going to find its legs again. Did this moment jump the shark? Well, despite it being part of what's later revealed as the true plot, this is episode 32 of 48, and I can't spend a significant amount of time showing you the stream video of everything that happens after this. I need to summarize it. I'll give you what's needed to convey what it was like, but anything else is better off in this approach. You can decide meanwhile if the shark has been jumped. After Anthony discovers the photo, Hollis drops a diss track. Now, that really would have been the shark, right? He drops a video with the news playing and several codes, followed by another puzzle video featuring repeating sequences of round visuals. Anthony comes back with a long catch-up video just going over the recent events, his thoughts and feelings, all leading up to catching a news report.
Alright, thanks Doug. We'll keep checking back on that accident. Right now we want to let you know about a strange development in a series of reported burglaries over on Layton Civic Road. Now you might remember, in the early morning of May 2nd, multiple homes were broken into and burglarized in sequence. Now, one of these incidents ended in the tragic death of Arthur Landy, the sole resident of number 86, by strangulation, according to police. He was 60 years old. Police investigated, but came away with nothing that could point them in the direction of a suspect. But earlier today, the Somers Town Council collectively came forward and pointed to an unexpected bit of information at the town hall. A poster for a fire safety open forum pinned to the bulletin board near the building's entrance. Now, according to the Somers Fire Department, this forum was never actually scheduled to take place, and what's truly unsettling is the series of numbers at the bottom of the page. You'll notice that these numbers match up exactly with the houses that were broken into on Layton Civic Road back on May 2nd. They're 4, 16, 22, 50, 54, and 86. Police are working to identify the person who put the poster up. They checked months-old security footage of the town hall's entrance. Now, it's a bit fuzzy, but it looks like the poster was pinned up in the early evening hours of January 24th by this person. Take a look at your screen here. Police say the suspect is male, about 5'6", and he was wearing a heavy coat at the time. We're told he enters, puts the poster up, and then leaves immediately. He's also holding a camera. Now, this is all the information we have at this moment. Some of you may see this situation as a bit of a stretch, as they're not necessarily connected to the burglaries.
Hello?
Anthony, are you watching the news right now?
Yeah, is this what you think it is? Yeah, I'm watching the news. You are too. Why are you calling? How did you know I was gonna call?
You think we don't monitor the YouTube account too?
Well, Look, I need you and your boss to help me. Can you please do something? Anything?
Well, we kind of have to, don't we?
Can you come over, please? My parents are out. We can discuss what to do then.
So the middleman for the mystery company shows up, face unobscured from the published video, and informs Anthony that he and his boss are going to help him, while he makes his payment for said help. He's instructed to grab a laptop from upstairs and get in the car. As they drive, Anthony rattles off to the mystery middleman of a shadowy organization how they implicated him in burglaries and a murder, and how they'd better make this right, which, you know, for a character like Anthony in a situation like this, we just don't believe it. Also a little hard to believe what else is said here, as the middleman lists how much trouble the company is in for Anthony's actions, because they took pity on him. And it all just sounds utterly incompetent and painfully stupid, since the big bad shadowy organization let Anthony run around filming everything and now they're so very much in a headache. The liaison brings Anthony to a storage unit where they hang out together waiting for the boss. And guess who?
You might be surprised. But honestly, Anthony, surely you could have seen this coming. Some people who watch your videos have predicted as much.
What the fuck? What the? You had to insert that line. Damn. You're so stupid. The audience figured it out ahead of time. Wow.
So, Hollis was a client of yours too?
We're not about to have another client run off, Anthony. Especially not you, who's tied so closely to Hollis. Truth is, we've been preparing to do this for some time now, and here is where you'll stay. At least until we've covered our own asses. Now, there's a reason I had you break...
Hey! How could you? How could you do this? You were playing us off each other.
At the risk of sounding like a child. And? Look, these aren't my decisions to make. But frankly, I wouldn't have stood in the way here even if I could have.
What did he ask you to do for him?
Hide him. From you. Yeah.
So, are you assuming that he's trying to undermine your operations right now somehow?
That's a bit of a leap to take in logic, isn't it? Feels more like leading the audience than setup. And when it comes to doing anything for the audience from here on out, there are 13 videos after this, and in the process of finishing the series, we felt the length stretching out. It got to a point of genuine frustration. And for where it leads, you miss nothing from me jumping through these videos, because here's the rundown. Anthony spends an untold amount of time living in the storage unit as he's brought food and water and uploads videos, somehow. The therapist and one-time roommate for Hollis and his middleman don't care about Anthony uploading all of this because to everybody watching, it's just a web series. Anthony spends long enough in this position, presumably using a pocket dimension as a bathroom, for his phone to fill up with dozens of phone calls from his mother asking where he is. Why is he being made to use the laptop with some kind of satellite internet and upload videos? Presumably to learn anything about Hollis or lure him in. Hollis does attempt to rescue Anthony after making secret contact online, but can't figure out what storage unit he's in or make significant progress. 6 videos occur over this entire thread. It's a whole lot of stuff that doesn't actually advance the narrative spanning at least 30 minutes, and myself and the chat were feeling the fatigue. Then Hollis takes a different approach, breaking back into Dr. Tanner's place for a segment basically totally unrelated to Anthony and the original story. But before we hit that, we need at least one 3-minute video out of that whole 30 minutes of what are we even doing now, because the context is extremely important for later. Here's the upload. Who is Hollis Coogan?
Do you see now that I'm right?
You grew some hair there.
Many lies. And yes, for good reason. But some of these facades will have to fall. They'll just have to. Now, to the general audience, you have too many questions to count. Some of which go back to the very, very beginning. And an unfortunately large part of me wants to answer each and every one of them.
And it's bad that you can't. And it's bad that we do.
I'll answer one. The person you think I am is not who I am.
No kidding.
Yes, I am Hollis Coogan. The name on the very real missing person report confirms the fact. But I have no doctor. I had no confusion, no problems. And in fact, all the divine inspiration in the world until recently. I never intended to be speaking to you like this, ever. I didn't think this would go on for so long. And then everything. Then something that was so simple became horrifyingly complicated.
You said it, dude. Fred said the later videos in this read like fanfic of the first few videos. Yeah. It's the same issue that we kept hitting with Greylock, as it just kept trying to expand of why the hell do you keep trying to stretch this out instead of staying to the story you started with and making it banger. The point at which Greylock picked itself up and became a god was when it realized, hey, fuck all that other shit that we did, let's get back to the point we started at and drive it home. Everything in this series was so good up to episode 14 and a tiny bit beyond it. The moment that we started getting Hollis on the run playing to the Ark and an actual kind of double conflict for Anthony involving Hollis, it should have just stayed there. Where you have this mad kid on the run who may or may not have killed his younger brother, Anthony's younger brother, and Anthony dead set on finding him while also dealing with whatever madness is plaguing him. And honestly, I would have kept the weird paranormal creatures angle. Yeah, Fred, it's spiraled out so much. It's very difficult to write themselves out of this corner because they're not even in the same city anymore. At least Greylock kept expanding and trying to push its original territory into new streets and avenues while staying in the same thing. It's like, okay, it's like your city expansion plan is not working. Scale it the fuck back. Now we're not even in the same city anymore. We've moved. It's like, can we go home? Can we go back to the home that was hidden in?
I guess this new life of mine continues. They won't find me. I hop from place to place, daily, and sometimes more. I'm good at it.
Hey, thank you, Premium Tron.
It does suck, but believe it or not, it's still an improvement over my previous living situation. So, to everyone that it concerns, you should watch for me, because now I can go anywhere.
So, remember all that as you can. We're going to circle back to it. Next came all the ridiculous back and forth of Anthony in the storage unit. Hollis trying to save him, Hollis still trying to save him, and then Hollis breaking into Tanner's place to find a spare key to the storage unit. Because where else would they have this key except on their key ring? Where you keep a key that you use every day? It's kind of what you do with keys. Oh, the handcuffs that never came in play.
Cord much, but... No, there are 5 other apartments in this building.
Indeed, you do.
Yeah, if you try to come in at all, I will make sure they hear across the street, let alone just upstairs.
No, we can't afford a scene. I agree. To that end, I encourage you to approach the door. Because if I don't hear your voice coming from directly behind it, I'll have to assume you're trying to climb out a window, in which case I will be forced to meet you outside. Consequences be damned.
Yeah, Greylock always had effort put in. There is a late... I mean, I'm not even going to say laziness so much as there is a sense of confusion with this that might be creating a laziness. There's a lack of true energy.
Yeah. I'm here.
You won't be leaving that room, Hollis. Not without confronting me, which I assure you, you won't just walk away from. Open the door now, because you'll have to eventually regardless.
And then, if I do, what are you gonna do? You gonna tie me up and demand answers like Anthony? What are you gonna do?
I don't have to tell you it won't be pleasant, but maybe some of what you know can be a bargaining chip for your life. We can only find that out here.
Alright, that's it. I'm ending the bullshit, okay?
Why would anything he knows be helpful to them in any situation ever at all? He's just a whacked out guy at this point.
The fact is, you're not in a position to dictate negotiations like you think you are. You think... You know what? I'm looking for a key to the storage unit, you see. And it doesn't matter if you know that. That's just a secondary goal of mine, anyway. You think that I would come here so brazenly if I hadn't already done what I really wanted to do.
What did you really want to do?
Come on. You already know. You were right when you said it to Anthony.
They got past where the manga was and had to make filler episodes. Oh, God help me. I don't want to clown on it. I don't want to laugh, you know? I'm tired, and I recognize what's happening at this point. It's just, it's spun out so much. Yeah, Fred, so much, because it's how good writing works, and you know that. You know that. I know that. A lot of unfiction hinges on internal consistency, and there's very little internal consistency here. It's not consistent. The only consistency is the characters feel compelled to upload now. They have YouTube Stockholm Syndrome. It's been 9 hours. I think you're allowed to laugh. I guess so. Yeah. I'm the poor fucker who has to edit this VOD. I guess I do have permission to laugh.
Yeah. Did you think that after being here in this apartment for 6 months, planning to do the whole time what I've finally been doing, that I didn't find things out about your operation? Those folders on the computer that I filmed myself looking at months ago after you had already deleted them. It was to throw you off, Dr. Tanner, and it worked perfectly. You think that I hadn't already made copies of them all? Yeah, I know. Everything. Every other client you have, or have had over the last 2 years, I know them, and what you did for them.
And why should I believe that? And even so, we both know you're not going to the police with this, blowing your own cover.
You know, it did take me a long time to figure out what to do with all this. But Salvatore Young. Now that's a name you surely know. For over a year, you've supplied him with
I don't care. I don't care about any of these guys' fucking clients. I cared about the whacked out dude living in Anthony's garage, being a fucking weirdo, potentially haunted by paranormal beings, then going on the run and having something to do with a child's disappearance, and then Anthony hunting him down and learning the truth about that. In this weird, potentially my enemy is actually a truly haunted guy in a curse situation kind of setup that would have been really fucking cool and would have made an excellent story based on just 2 characters locked in this struggle together and then realizing that they have to come together for some kind of weird ass circumstance. It could have been simple. I don't give a fuck about Dr. Tanner's weird underground suburbia mafia clients. I don't care about that. This is nothing to me. This is nothing to us. This is spun out into hell. This is not how you fucking write. This is how you write when you are on a team of writers for a major TV show 5 seasons in and you don't know what you're fucking doing anymore, but you're trying to keep your jobs to stay on the air and you just don't know what to do. Unfiction creators and writers, stop doing this to your work. Bigger and more complex is not good. It's usually bad. Stop trying to load up your plate before you have even figured out how to make yourself a simple, tasty, effective sandwich. The story we had by episode 15 is the story that should have been told. Yeah, Fred, the only piece of media that manage to go on long journeys are the ones that stay very focused. And those ones that have made those long journeys, the focus was clear. Why the hell does Lord of the Rings work? Because the objective was written out from the start and kept the entire time, no matter how whacked out the journey to the mountain was. The goal was always, for the love of God, get that goddamn ring in the volcano. No matter how twisted up it got. Dungeon Meshi. The goal always was, recover Falun, no matter what happens. This has been all over the place. But holy crap, yes, 9 hours in, actually running deep with this project. I can't hold it back anymore. This is now my breaking point. This was so unnecessary. I will always applaud the dedication and commitment it takes to run one of these projects and see it through. But this was not the course to take for you, the writing, the story, all the way up and through. This just got dumb.
Encyclodine, PCP. I gave your entire archive to him. I tried a few of your other clients beforehand, but he was by far the most willing to sell you to the police himself. All I can ask for. Oh boy.
Where does it even go from here? Well, Dr. Tanner doesn't know at this time that Anthony and Hollis are communicating online, so he basically leverages his hostage situation under the pretense of uniting with the audience to figure out Hollis' circular code video, taking over the channel for uploads himself as the new central figure. And it truly does not matter what the results of code solving were at this point. I was just skipping through and the chat was right with me. Tanner decides to make a play for getting Hollis out in the open by acting on puzzle answer information Anthony found from Hollis relating to a location. Tanner doesn't know Anthony and Haas's secret communication has been about setting up this spot for Anthony's rescue. Tanner intends to have Hollis killed here by a sniper, and Anthony too if he tries to screw things up. Tanner fails, Anthony and Hollis get away, and then at long last, we return to the home. And you are not going to believe what happens here.
I know that it wasn't part of the plan for me to be at the park, too, but I wasn't exactly sure that you'd be able to get away with both of them on you at once, so I wanted to distract the liaison. You're welcome. I escaped, I hotwired a car to get back here, but don't worry, I parked it 2 streets over, didn't leave any fingerprints, so it's fine. I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to get here, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, it's fine. Because that's it. We're both here in the same place. Finally.
Yes, finally.
That's it.
Fucking
finally. That's it, right? And after all this, we've more than made our point, right? I thought the fact that you more or less agreed to do this, to orchestrate this meeting. Thought you were on the same page.
Okay. Between 2 episodes now, they have to explain what happened to Jordan. Who was the guy who was murdered? What actually was going on in the first place with Hollis while hiding out in Anthony's home?
The way you're looking at me right now, I get the feeling you're going to say something that I don't like. So, why don't you just say it then? Just get it out.
Fuck you!
Oh, fuck! Stop! Ah!
I should fucking kill you!
Fuck! Kill me? Kill me? Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I would expect. You've succeeded in trying to fuck us in every other way possible since I've been gone.
Fuck us?
Yeah.
Fuck us. You have tried to fuck us at every turn. Call the police. The picture. The shit you said to the audience. All I've done is save us. While you have wallowed in self-pity and forgotten to care about your purpose.
You don't care about me! That's been clear.
Life's work that comes before
It's clear
everything.
you haven't given a shit about me since the second you made me go live with that psychopath! I should have never let you talk me into... I would have taken a storage unit for years over what I had to do 10 years!
You have become a sniveling little coward. You were blessed with an idea that could have left an impact on the world, on history. And you've tried to throw it all away. You could have saved so many people, but the only people we will have saved, I saved. Because I didn't let you throw it all away.
I don't know where you get this fantasy in your head, this delusion of grandeur. That's what it is. Have you seen the responses to the videos you've posted recently? The YouTube comments, the people who think that we're just trying to tell some story here, they're bored. They've seen you stagnating things just isolated in the storage unit for months, and they don't like it. They don't like it.
We're not supposed to like it. We don't want them to like it.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Okay? They are leaving with the wrong message. You know that. They're walking away with the wrong idea. Now there are so many of them are walking away.
Yeah, you're helping. You're helping, trying to end this before it's time.
Any time I wanted to end this would have been a fine time to end it.
You are delusional. I can't.
I'm done with this. I'm done. Okay? This argument, it's never ending. We can stop this now. And just maintain some semblance of the original purpose.
This was about never turning away. You said so. You said that this was about getting people to confront what they didn't want to. The uncertainty of what you see and the consequences of not knowing. What is wrong with you? Everything you've done over the past year, and you know what you're doing, by the way, has been a direct betrayal. And what's different? You say I'm a different person? You sound like a completely different person from the one who approached me last summer. So what is it?
You don't know what it was like to live with Dr. Tanner in the woods and in the other houses.
Oh, come on.
Easy.
You're not such a weak-willed, pathetic coward. At least you weren't. What is it really?
I don't know. I don't know.
There is no Jordan, is there?
Well then fuck you. You ruined all this for nothing.
Maybe I feel bad.
You feel bad? What do you have to feel bad about? Jordan? Nothing bad even happened there.
Motherfucker!
I know he doesn't understand it. but he's happy to be a part of it. It's what he always wanted. Remember this? Huh? This was your symbol of hope forever. I get it. It's mine too.
I just want this to be over.
I know. You keep saying that over and over and over again.
I'm serious. You need to be done with this. Listen, it's not like I didn't care this whole time, okay? It's not like I had to explain everything to the viewers. I mean, I wanted to some of the time, but I didn't, okay? But this has to be done right now. Stop! No! Stop! Stop! Anthony, come on.
I'm not giving you this phone. Do not try to take it.
Anthony, you want to keep going with this? Tanner and the liaison are on their way here right now. I don't know, they could be here in just a couple minutes. So you want to keep going? Well, what do we do when they get here?
Hi, Alfie.
Tell me that.
You walked
How do
in
we
when
keep
everything's
going
on fire.
at that point?
But, hello. Love, Ma.
If they kill us right now, wouldn't that be something? In a way, that solves our problems.
You need to wake up from this fantasy, okay? This is it. This is our only chance left to end this in any way like we originally planned.
Then you're gonna have to prove it. Show me how we'll walk. And they will too.
Well, with them, it shouldn't matter, okay? They're gonna be gone beforehand. And as for us, the way things are now, we'll walk.
I said prove it.
They're gonna be here any minute!
I don't care. Prove it.
Alright, fine. Well, first of all, me trespassing on your property back in the beginning, and later breaking and entering. Those are all things that you can forgive me for, right?
Right.
Well then, going in order here. Next is Jordan. Right. Yeah. After that, the USB drive with the snuff film on it.
That was you. That was all you.
Okay, well, there was no violence actually captured on camera there, and no evidence to find because no crime actually took place. So, if you didn't realize, the person in that film, he's on his way here right now. That was one of the first things I had either of them do.
What about the handcuffs?
Those are a children's toy. They're not real.
Blood in the tunnel?
It's been so long it would have evaporated by now anyway. That was back before I stopped caring about building up evidence against you.
That poster in the town hall. I don't have those clothes anymore. Well, you technically can't prove it's me at all. What about the YouTube video?
It is linked to a real crime, but the video, it doesn't show the poster clearly. And doesn't show the moment that you interacted with the bulletin board either. So who's to say what you really did there?
The railroad spike?
The way you claim to be able to use it in that video, it's impossible. Too much time passed between the alleged crime and now. If there was any DNA lingering on that thing, out there in the elements, no way.
Did break into Tanner's apartment.
Well, he and everyone connected to him, they're not gonna press charges, okay? They've done worse. They can't afford to. And other than that, we had no guns, no other weapons. What else is there? Nothing.
You better be right about all this. If our message doesn't come across exactly as we planned it is your fault.
That's fine. I can accept that.
Wait.
What?
Give it to me.
No.
I'm not
No.
trying to trick you. I just don't trust you, not to reveal anything. I want to be as succinct as possible. Give me the phone.
Fine. Just take it.
4 Stockton Avenue.
Maybe they'll get here before Tanner does. I mean, it's been a little while now. Maybe. Anthony, is that what? Ah, shit.
That's it. Don't fucking move. This got me in right now, and I don't know who the fuck you think you are, trying to derail my business. You lose. Play a stupid fucking game, and you've thrown your lives away. Was it worth it? Huh? Was it fucking worth it?
Wait. The reason we did this.
I couldn't care less about your reasons.
Hey, don't you think we should hear them?
Shut the fuck up. This isn't the fucking time.
They're not going anywhere. Do we really want 2 bodies to clean up right here?
You both need to hear this.
If you explain yourselves right now, they're gonna shoot you on the fucking spot. Is what's gonna happen.
Bullshit. I've heard enough of you motherfuckers talk.
Martin, if we don't figure out what this is about, the whole business...
Hollis, don't tell them anything.
But there's no time.
It doesn't matter. There just can't be a confession. Hollis, don't talk. This is your purpose, and you've always known that. If they kill us right now, we still win.
What?
Dr. Tanner, if I tell you why we did this, will you consider letting us live?
Hollis!
The reason that we did this, the reason... It barely even concerned you. Come on.
Should they see one of us? Both of us? Which do you think is better?
They're gonna see both of us eventually.
Alright.
Somebody has to be up there to upload the footage.
I'll do it. Just stall them. It'll take 3 minutes.
Okay.
Well, we probably won't be able to speak to you all for a little while. Still not sure if I agree with Hollis on this, but we'll see what happens. I wanted to be the one to do this. Just to say this to you all. You were essential in all of this. The fact that you got so caught up in it proved our point. At least some of the time. So thank you.
We're sorry that we haven't talked to you in such a long time after the last video we uploaded. We've been really busy.
Over the past couple months, we were taken into police custody. Upon watching the YouTube videos, questioning us, and reviewing the evidence, the police determined that they could not nail anything down. So, here we are.
As for Dr. Tanner and the liaison, the police have not been able to find a single trace of them.
If you've been invested at all in this series, in the beginning, the middle, or the end, if you've drawn art, if you've theorized, decoded messages, and chosen sides, your involvement has meant more than you could ever know. It is because of your involvement, and because of our freedom in these final moments, that our artistic and political experiment has succeeded.
I've had my doubts, which you've seen extensively at this point. But I feel secure now.
what you were all witness to these last 18 months, they were terrible things. That's a fact. But beyond that, what can you tell us about what you saw? Be careful. The fear and the confusion and frustration that you felt, we didn't want you to feel that way out of some sense of malice. Or at least I didn't. It was to prove to you that things need to change. Everything we did, it was for a good reason. So, if you're questioning much of what you saw, how much we lied, how much was real, well, that's sort of what we were going for. We lied a lot.
But everything was real.
Oh my god, Z, what a time to come in with a raid. Holy fuck. Hello, Scribbly Noodle and Raiders. Welcome in to the grand finale explanation of hiding in my home. This did not end the way anybody expected. This did not end the way that I expected. And, it's a lot. Nobody is happy. Oh, not the barrel. The empty barrel was on purpose. The purposeless barrel, there was nothing for it. Yeah. Shadow glitch? Yeah. Hey, we'll talk then, Z. Your pissed off mother, right? Your mom who put up with all this bullshit. Mom reveal, and she is mad. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. I need to. There we go. There's our reaction image for the night. What is this? Bro, what the fuck? This is where he's hiding the good plot. Oh man. It's an urn. Yeah. Pretty damn sure. Acer Bet, thank you. Well, it is the real me, so you'll never have to see the other one again. Okay, you've got a description? Okay, this last scene, so Drake and Josh took a weird turn. More than to other series of videos on the internet, your engagement mattered here. As much as our freedom from consequences, your contribution proved how unreliable our eyes can be, how little certainty there is. But what you saw was real. This time we all impacted the real world. Thank you for watching. Are you fucking sure, guys? Okay. So, the smugness destroyed any chance they had of selling that message? Yeah. Okay. Let me just get up a second and... Okay. Holy fuck. There are ways to introduce an unfiction project about unfiction and the nature of our involvement in what we see and when it's constructed. This ain't it. Are we not smart to understand this? Oh no, we understand this now. We understand it. Problem is, the execution was just... They're really challenging me here. The problem was that they didn't understand it, yeah. Okay, Binks wants to come in. Fuck it, I'll let Binks in. Hold on. Come on, kid. Hang out with me, kid. It's been a long night. Okay. No, they didn't understand the assignment. Because, first of all, these experiences work when you have a good time. And they understood at the end that we were not having a good time. The audience was not having a good time. In the video before this, Poetics.
A storage unit for...
This was them basically having an argument out of character. Like, they understood, this sucks now. This has to wrap up. And Binks wants to leave, of course. So Fred says, the problem is that they lack the knowledge of unfiction to make an effective unfiction project. They lack the writing ability to write a coherent and interesting story. They lack the video editing capability to sell their ideas. And they lack the acting ability to sell any of it. When it comes to the video editing capability, there was so much promise showed at the start. But I felt the wind leave the sails. I felt like when we have the conversation about laziness, there was a laziness that kicked in, and we can call it when we see the long periods of B-roll and environment footage and just getting to a point of shit dragging and not being resolved, getting wrapped up in anything else. Soup Gal says, I'll be honest, I don't know what point they were so desperately trying to make. I don't know what fucking point it was either. What point in 2020 of believing things on the internet when it comes to fictional tales? You're always going to have people now who go into the comments and go, is this real? But here's the thing. They're the outliers now. They're on the outside. Majority of people understand this is a storytelling medium and we tell stories. You know, this all happened from 2020 to 2021. We were still smart enough back then. It's like, I was not a small channel. Other channels have been doing this. For the love of God, Game Theory has been on the unfiction beat for years. They were there in 2020. They didn't just jump on the train 2 years ago. This has been known. It's known that we do this online. People understand. This is fiction. It's storytelling. So for that to be a point, it's a moot point. We've been there. The time of having a conversation about or making an art piece about it is pretty much fucking dead. That's gone. Is Jordan a real person who died? That's not a question I should have to ask. That's another hard part. And I really don't even know how to feel about it. But my first thought is I hope not. And that the end of this project being planned to spread his ashes after making him a plot point, I really hope not. Because that's not cool. Mom's expression makes sense if it was. That's what I'm thinking too. What if that was actually like she was not happy? I wanted to say so many nicer things about this than I have now. It was so good up until past episode 15. Like, damn. How else can I end this except to bring it back to the main office for a final talk? The point. The big point. The uncertainty of what you see and the consequences of not knowing. The argument was raised in the chat that this applied to unfiction audiences judging something they're witnessing as unfiction when it may in fact be legitimate. The other side of the coin in the discussion we've had as audiences and creators regarding the immersion play factor. That doesn't hold up here though. Anything concerning a presentation of that storyline to deliver a message completely fails once Anthony enters the picture and introduces what is so clearly a directed story. And it even begins to fall short before then with how curated the Hollis experience is in the first rollout of videos. You could have made the argument during most of Hollis' Secret Home Invader run, but even then, the artistry, especially the codes, give up the game. A creator who wishes their project to deliver a message can absolutely do so. It happens all the time. I am Mary. I am Sophie. Teeny Toys. How-to video results. Post content. Just to name a few. What these projects have in common is that they don't spell out the message as if it were an essay. To deliver the purpose from your own mouth at the end of the experience is liberal arts sophomoric and an audience alienating moment of telling instead of showing. As stated at the end, much of the idea here, the inability to discern what were being delivered in media and the consequences of it, was not some idea that was beyond us during 2020 of all years. The vast majority of thinking people did understand that we had been living in an information landscape nightmare known as the post-truth era. And to tie that into online storytelling, which was and so often has been and forever will be, a liberation and reprieve from the real-world horrors of online malice and agendas presented as legitimate info, is to really drain so much enjoyment and purpose out of unfiction as a field. The clues were here, I'll give them that. the video on Hollis's camera that was allegedly from Anthony's perspective, the framed photo, Hollis addressing who he is and admitting how much things had gone awry. By the end, it's still murky to figure out details. I suppose what occurs regarding Tanner and the liaison is that they actually were, in the story, two guys running a shady business who'd had enough of this shit and were ready to kill them. And involving them at all in the course of creating their unfiction plot got Hollis and Anthony into genuine danger. As for Jordan, it's ambiguous. And now we can't trust what we see regarding the spreading of ashes, especially because to end all of that with spreading ashes seems so disrespectful if there ever was a Jordan. I can tell you that Anthony and Hollis were coordinated from the start. I can tell you that it was a cat and mouse game originally. Then they got involved with a weird shadow organization that was effectively just Dr. Tanner and his henchmen got in actual trouble and had to pull out. And that plotline genuinely was not fun or truly believable. It did take away from what we cared about and a dynamic we were invested in. And for it all to end up like this, arguing in the den about how bad the series had become and it was time to end it and make their point. The necessity of a wrap-up section like this is not ideal. In the cases of covering anything that gets me to just spit it out raw like I did, it's because where we started was in a place of such competency, such intelligence, such quality that it earned my harsher criticism. When you're as good as Hiding in My Home was for about 14 episodes, resulting in the absolute stunner turn to Anthony as a protagonist and everything he had to tell us, you've qualified for the things I have to say that aren't couched in the language and tone I reserve for new students just learning their way. It still brings me no pleasure. Especially because, as I brought up in the livestream with chat at one point, I have a full Trailhead project report for Hiding in My Home, and it's one of my favorite reports to have. I was overjoyed getting that rundown, and it's still an excellent resource for creators. You know what this took for them to make it, the trials and tribulations, the difficulties and the highs and hopes, the planning. To bring down the criticisms I had to, especially knowing what I do of the Trailhead rundown, was not a joyous thing. When it comes to being creators of major caliber, as was desired and pursued by the main writer and editor making Hiding in My Home, yes, you did and do still in fact have what it takes. You proved it in the first 14 episodes. You proved it in several moments beyond that. This was not a fool's project. You lost your footing mid-routine, didn't quite get it back, then went for the grand ending and didn't stick the landing. It's true. Even in the moments that were not your best, I still saw the evidence of a creator who merely needed more time thinking about direction and how best to execute. And I will say this, you achieved what most never do. You finished the job. That takes a lot, and you accomplished it. The tale is told, the project is done, and even if it wasn't your best work, it was your best attempt and you saw it through. I will always respect that immensely and give you due recognition for it. I know it was your best attempt. I know you gave it the work. I read your report. I saw the evidence. I know you did. Good on you. You put in the effort. You saw the project through. That puts you in a class that many never reach. I know it was the best attempt under all circumstances. Any idea of laziness discussed was lack of energy in my eyes, and the wayward path along the narrative of Dr. Tanner and his organization. In the end, when it comes to the statement piece, I cannot retract how I feel about that. But we learn as we go. We're always learning. Hiding in My Home is a valuable project. It's rich in its visual choices. The editing touches were always interesting and engaging. Photography choices made you savor them at several points. And the Anthony reveal of episode 14 was still, for sure, one of the best narrative twist moments I've ever experienced in live-action projects. Yes, it was. I am giving them that because it's deserved, it's earned, and I loved it. The chat loved it, and it's a lesson to learn from for prospective creators. That was still gold. No matter how everything else turned out, that was gold. The carry-through from that moment, especially introducing Hollis in episode 20, a sincere conversation, was great. Promising, engaging, developing the story in a way we could feel and really get behind. Introducing our original protagonist in a new, more revealed antagonistic light that was refreshing and exhilarating. It truly was only upon hitting episode 22 that things fell down. Returning to the Jordan plot with episode 29 brought us back to life in a way that felt like coming home. That was solid. And then again, the company angle, the storage unit. There is a sense of relief in being upright again in episode 47 Poetics. Even with the conversation turns that angered us as viewers, we were back in a place that was so well established and worked for the narrative. Hollis and Anthony, in opposition to each other in this strange, life-altering narrative set in a nice suburban neighborhood. That was it, guys. That was the core you endeared us to. You never needed this third-party company. You had it right when you started. In its victories, its mistakes, overall lessons for creators, and experiences provided to viewers who did interact with it while it was live, Hiding in My Home is a project worth having here. Never mistake my anger at a project's missteps for dismissal. I'm still deeply glad I used my debut night to explore Hiding in My Home. And on a note both in my professional capacity and personally, to the creators of Hiding in My Home, if you ever thought of getting up and giving it another go with a new project, a new direction, having learned from your prior experience and giving it your best again, I encourage you, I invite you, and I know you have it in you. We saw it. You can do it. And if you never give another project a chance, thank you for Hiding in My Home, legitimately. Everything that we did enjoy, we absolutely did enjoy. Thank you all for watching this. Probably the longest VOD edit I'll have for a while. I hope you enjoyed a different sort of visit to the Nightmind office. I'm live on Twitch practically every week, and more edited VODs are on their way. Do subscribe here to catch those, and come follow me on Twitch to join when I go live. I'll keep rolling out schedules and community posts on YouTube too, to keep you informed of my activity each week. Thanks again for giving this a chance. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and until next time, sleep tight.